me. So I don't know if you want to have a different time for your stream every single Sunday. That's your business. But like I was fine. Like I said, I was getting I was getting a 90-minute massage instead of being here. So
a 90-minute massage, very interesting.
it's okay.
What kind of massage was that?
Yeah, normally I do. I don't actually like doing the 90-minute because I'd rather just do like a normal 60-minute one because I don't like being on my face that long. It makes me all congested.
I got some kind of. Wait, you're not live yet, are you?
Yeah, I am live.
You just went live.
Nice. But yeah, I'm just like it hadn't been for a while, so I was like, yeah, let's do that. So, anyways, we're live. Oh my god.
Let me know if y'all like the thumbnail, just so you know.
Why don't I see the live stream showing up?
It just went live, so you might have to refresh your.
Oh, you gotta. I mean, no Nick, huh? Okay.
Yeah, I'm canceling out him too.
Here we go.
I see you. You're live.
All right, now I see it.
Yeah. All right. But I just see you. Where the hell am I, Lefty? Come on.
Oh, sorry. I will definitely put everyone up there. Don't worry.
What do you think I'm here for? Come on, man.
Okay, give me 1 second. I wanted to do something because I don't know if you see my other video, but I wanted to have introductions for y'all. So that way, subs can know who you are. So the plan is like I'm gonna be like Intoxicated Gamer. You can give like a head nod or some kind of gesture, and then I'm gonna go say Captain Bay and then Ghost Dog and so on and so forth. Yeah, I wanted to,
realistically speaking, that's a good idea. I like it. But realistically speaking, everyone knows who we are because that's the only reason they're here is because
I mean,
our other channels.
You have a point.
But it's a good idea for going forward.
You never know. There's gonna be other people that randomly come across these.
Oh, I got an excited dog here. So hang on a sec.
What would we talk? Secret invasions. That sucked.
Secret letdown. I mean invasions.
What?
Secret invasions that aren't so secret anymore.
Right. Like we are. We're gonna go in on this show. Just so you know, we're going in on this show. Let me go down to my channel and drop it in there real quick.
Yeah, I just tweeted to all of my three followers.
To still do. Mike Middleton, we will not bring that energy to this channel. I forbid it.
Only real secret invasion is Ghost Dog sneaking still doing.
Made it.
All right, everyone. Thanks for stopping in. And as you can see from the title, I didn't even put the "in more" part. I just wanted to roast Secret Invasions because that was pretty bad. But we'll get there. But first, I want to introduce everyone. First up, we have Captain Bay. How are you doing?
Me. Hello, everybody. Glad to be here.
What's going on, Ghost Stuff?
I literally walked in the house like 5 minutes before this.
Did you catch the bouquet?
I did not. Actually, that I didn't even realize they didn't do a bouquet toss. They didn't do any of that stuff. It was just more of the speeches and then dancing. That was kind of it.
Oh wow, okay, that's an interesting one.
I literally didn't even think of that until you just mentioned that. But yeah, just drove up from LA from that wedding. Walked in the door like 5 minutes before this.
As long as you had fun, that's all that matters.
I did. It was a good time.
Let me introduce.
Partied. That sounds better.
Let me introduce Aaron Abdo, aka the Intoxicated Gamer. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. How are you doing, buddy?
After seeing Secret Invasions, I'm not all that great, but we'll get there.
That's what we call a tease, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
We'll get to that. We'll get to more on that later.
Right. And last but not least, let's introduce Ghost Off 54. How are you doing?
What is good? Scary sent out our weekly tweet here.
Okay, I think I did tweet it on. Well, we can't even say we tweeted it.
They're not tweets anymore, guys. They're posts, and it's X, not Twitter.
No, I sent out
no.
Yeah.
It's
actually,
always and now and forever going to be a tweet.
Dude,
I'm about to say we're gonna
thing, doing that update and watching the app change from the blue bird to a black X. I was like, what is?
Oh, I haven't updated yet.
Yeah,
it was like I'm so confused now. I've clicked the wrong app so many times trying to go to Twitter.
Yeah, so like we're gonna talk about that too.
I'm calling it like Prince, you know. It's the website formerly known as Twitter. We'll just do it like that.
Let me welcome everyone, because everyone says I don't read the messages or not. How you doing, Chuck, Mike Middleton, the GOAT, Immortal Flash, ASAP. The GOAT says Lefty ignoring us. Okay, peace. I'm sorry, guys. I told you this channel is not like my gaming channel. It's not. They're two different entities. Just so you know, but I do see y'all. We're gonna start having a Q&A portion of the stream where we talk to everyone and see their questions.
I try to catch us up in the chat sometimes when things come across. So
yeah, I have the chat up right here. So
yeah, we do try to read y'all comments, but realize this is more of a conversation about how we're feeling about certain things, and we'll try to bring you guys in more and more. We'll bring more and more to this talk as things go further.
This is more about us than it is about you, chat. Just know that. Okay, get that through your head.
That's true.
Okay,
It's us tube. The truth of the matter is, it's like it's already hard enough for the four of us not to talk over each other, so it's kind of hard to,
right?
Check out exactly. So,
but a lot of big personalities going on here that all like to hear our own voices because we have our own channels.
Yeah.
As someone said, as a troll said at the end of my stream last night, as he spammed at least 4 times, I'm a narcissistic loser. So yeah, there's that.
We're bound to see trolls something later. But everyone on call and everyone in chat, I'm assuming, has seen Secret Invasions episode 6, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, what I'm gonna do, I don't know if everyone saw the video. I put a video on the channel and I think that setup was really good. Captain Bay seemed to like it, Ghost Talk seemed to like it. Abdo, did you like it?
I haven't seen your video that you put out on the channel so far. Sorry.
I put up a video and it was me, Captain Bay, and Ghost Talk talking. We had our own windows, and in the background was playing like Secret Invasion trailers and stuff like that. I think that setup was good. I think I'm gonna go here and continue with that if Abdo approves of it, because it seemed like it turned out really good.
I promoted it last night on my stream. I was letting people know that you'd made a video and stuff and about your channel and stuff. So
I appreciate
just didn't get
that.
A chance to watch it myself. Yeah.
Also, did you mention your secret beef with Lefty?
Oh yeah, of course. I said my goal is to get more subscribers on my new review channel without ever making any content, even if it's just like one more subscriber than you, without making any content, and then I'll be happy. And then I'll start making some content. But until then, we just got to try just for spite purposes. So,
I wouldn't be surprised if you actually did beat me. I'd be gaining and losing subs, so we'll see what happens.
Oh, it goes back and forth all the time. That's the trolls too,
Yeah. So I know how to record now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start recording, and then we're going to just hop right into Secret Invasions and how dog water it was. So
yeah.
All right, first up, let's talk about it. Episode 6 of Secret Invasions, and wow, was this bad. I feel like Marvel's is at the point where they are literally phoning it in at this point, because Secret Invasions was such a letdown to me. I don't know how Captain Bay or Ghost Dog or Abdo feel about it, but I'm pretty sure they're going to voice their opinion. And actually, I kind of want y'all to go first because my review of the show wasn't really nice. So let's just hop on into it. I thought it was trash. The CGI was bad. I felt like Marvel was to the point where they made Infinity War Endgame, and I feel like they can make whatever they want nowadays and just put out anything. And I gotta admit, I'm not excited about Loki anymore. This show, Secret Invasions, kind of ruined my optimism about Loki and any future Marvel show and the future Marvel movies, including the Marvels, because the Marvels looks bad to me. Based after the show, it just looks bad. Based on this show, Marvels looks bad. That's how I feel about it. But please, guys, tell me your thoughts. Tell me how you felt about it. Tell me what you were thinking as you were watching this dog water go down. Anyone can go first, whatever you want to do.
We'll let the ugliest person go first. Aaron, can you go?
Sorry. I heard ugliest person, but then you said something that was mean and hurtful, so that kind of makes you the ugliest person. So Ghost Dog,
yeah, words are uglier than looks.
Okay, yeah, whatever. Whatever. How many of y'all have a wife?
Oh,
dang!
Oh my goodness! How did we get here?
Well done.
Well, see, now I can't say what I would normally say because then I'd be insulting your wife. But I would just say something about standards. But and your wife probably having none, not you having no standards. But it's a different story. Anyways, okay. So let's get to where we're at. See, this is what happens when Lefty goes first. All the hatred flowing through him. He's
I didn't realize that was this much animosity.
Yes, you are now the Dark
The
Lord.
Abdo Ghost Dog beef has been real.
Yeah, so you know what? I'm probably gonna keep this in the video, just so you know. This is gonna stay in the video.
Oh, it's all good, man. We say stupid things on the internet all the time. So
All the time.
and I love Ghost Dog, so you can keep that in the video
Yeah,
too.
well, for the record, we all love each other, guys. We're all friends, so
But it's
we're all
fun
each other.
it's fun to play. Okay, so well, let's just get down to it. Yeah, I don't feel as strongly as you do about it. I think CGI is kind of weak. I think that in general that it should have been. I think this should have been a movie. I think it could have been tighter and a much tighter story, more condensed, 2 hours, maybe a couple minutes over 2 hours, and it could have been a movie that I think it just would have been a much better format for that. I don't think that all of these shows that they're doing. So some of that I think is to cut costs for sure, because they don't spend as much on the shows as they do on the movies. And some of it is because, like you were talking about with Infinity War and Endgame and that kind of stuff. Well, they got to this like high water mark, which is really hard for them to ever kind of replicate again. They pretty much just I don't think ever will. And now because they made a streaming platform, you got to put out content. You know how it is. Not every stream you do is going to be the best one you do. You just got to keep putting out content. So I was pretty disappointed by the ending of this as well. There were parts of it that I was like fine with, that I liked, that were good, but overall I was just like, phoned it a bit. The ending, the very ending was just like, okay, groan inducing. And then a lot of different specifics that we can get into after everyone gives their initial, opinions and everything, just really didn't work for me. And I think a movie would have been better. And yeah, this was disappointing.
I kind of agree. I think a movie.
Go.
Yeah, but before you go, I think a movie probably would have been better. And I think you can tell, like in the beginning, like the first couple of episodes, like I was really hooked. Like I thought episode 1, 2, and 3, like I'm in. But as soon as Talos died, it felt like they were just done with it. Like every episode got shorter and shorter, and I felt like towards the end it was rushed, and they knew, people want to watch anyway, which I find. But something about this show. Out of all the Marvel shows, this show has 4 episodes that are the lowest rated in the top 5 lowest rated shows. The 5th one being She-Hulk. Ghost Dog.
Okay.
Ghost Dog, what did you think of episode 6 of Secret Invasions?
All right, so episode 6, we went in. We left episode 5 with questions, correct?
Correct.
We left episode 6 with some of the same questions, like
even more, to be honest.
These and more, right?
Right.
Okay. So we all kind of knew Gaia was going to be the one to take down Gravit. We kind of knew that somewhere along the lines, some introduction to some more powers.
Mm-hmm.
But name me a DNA vial that gives you the purest of all DNA, and where'd they get some of this DNA from?
Right, like
to make the harvest. Like Ghost wasn't part of the big fight.
I think she was actually. I think you see her at one point.
no, they had her as an agent, so I'm assuming they got her blood before, and they would just
to get her blood beforehand.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure she's in the Endgame battle. Actually, though.
I don't remember her being. I don't remember her being
she's
there.
Not anywhere in Endgame.
I could be wrong.
She's not.
The main thing for me is not that they like got all that blood, right? Because they say they collected all the blood from the battlefield, and they specifically include the line "Every Avenger spilled blood." So, okay, I guess, sure, but the main thing is like, so she's the most powerful character in the MCU now.
In the MCU now. And
also, okay, I know we said specifics later, but like the way that it ends, she just kills him, like
Right.
just fires through his chest. Like, dude, he's the evil supervillain. He didn't think to do that.
He couldn't heal. He couldn't heal that. And what did they do with the body? Like,
all right.
They collected it to make a new harvest.
right.
Yes.
And
Right?
I didn't mean to cut you off,
Because they
Ghost
got
Dog,
everybody's DNA.
but it's just like, even if that it's possible to put all that DNA in one vial. My question is, if you look at the fight, there were some scenes where the Gravik, he transformed into someone else, and he would have certain like materials on their hand. Like, for example, he was Ebony Maw. He had Ebony Maw's rings. So is Ebony Maw's rings a part of his DNA? I'm confused.
I think they ran out of money, so they had to kind of like Hulk's leg came up with his pants.
Right.
So that means they use older CGI to make whatever was going on.
It might have been one of the garbage, yeah.
Which is probably why it was so bad.
Right. And Captain Bay, I want your input on this. Like, how did you feel watching the final episode of Secret Invasions?
So for me, I don't think I'm as negative as, but at the same time, I like watched it one time and then the next day I drove to a bachelor party and wedding, so I haven't done any more research other than that first initial watch through. So I haven't seen any breakdowns or anything where people pointing out like this was terrible. So like this is still just like my raw reaction, I guess. Um, so I mean, it was a bit of for a finale. It was slow. It didn't feel like it answered a bunch of the questions like we said, or at least it didn't answer them in ways we thought. I don't think anyone was surprised with the Gaia reveal that, oh, that isn't Nick Fury, that's Gaia. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised. I wasn't surprised by that.
Like no, like he's straight up walking through all this radiation. Like, yeah, okay, she was taking those pills to make it seem like those were helping or whatever. I'm like, no, it's not Nick Fury. It just felt very slow. Like that dragged on forever of him just walking through all of this, like trying to find, and then like we're like, come on, just get to the point already. We know this is Gaia. And I did the part I did like, at least that they showed the screen of showing like I mean, we didn't see everyone that was part of the harvest, but we got to see like the list of the names. So like I like paused it as it was going on and I like, wrote down all the names.
Thanos is on that list.
Thanos is on that list.
That's all you need is Thanos' powers. You got Thanos and Miss Marvel powers. You don't even need any other friggin' powers.
And that's the other thing too. It's kind of like it's back to the whole Miss Marvel thing of like, yes, they have these powers, but how does that mean that they instantly know how to control them? Like,
thank you.
Mantis's powers at one point.
Thank you.
Like just because you have powers doesn't mean you instantly know how they
understand how they work. Right.
In a span of like that for this. And so it's like,
I mean, but that's the one thing I will say pretty consistent throughout the Marvel Disney Plus shows is that these characters seem to instantly learn how to use their powers.
She-Hulk was kind of the same way too.
Yeah,
like,
that was not the same way. She friggin' she trained with Bruce for like the first whole episode. That one you can use other examples. That's not a good example.
It was like one day. Like 2 days. Okay.
Oh, what they were down like on some beach or something, training for multiple days.
Okay, but she was better than him at everything
for over a month. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because she's a girl, but that's a different story.
Oh my god.
My thing is, I have two.
And then Miss Marvel, like she went from barely being able to control her powers one day to the next day being able to control them seamlessly. Yeah. Whether that they didn't specify over time, it just looked like one day she didn't know how to use them, the next day she knew how to use them.
Right.
In this case, I'm gonna say that the knowing how to use the powers thing is a thing which they all seem to do, but knowing like to choose which powers, that kind of thing, Gaia talked to Nick Fury, and so he would have told her who all the people were in there. So she would have had an advantage in the fight over Gravik, knowing about Mantis and knowing about all of the different people.
Wouldn't Gravik have the same because he knew what DNA he was collecting?
Actually, you know what? That's a good point too. Yeah, he would have known. Well, he would have. Yeah, because he would have known what DNA he was collecting because he's the one who collected it all, right?
Right.
So maybe there would have been a few things in there, like say Ghost isn't in the battle, but Ghost is in the harvest for whatever reason because they already have her DNA. So maybe he wouldn't have known about that power, and that's why she shifted and did that kind of stuff. Or maybe it's just that she was smarter than him and knew which powers to use at which moment, and that's like that I don't have as much of a problem with, but it still is like that. I think it's more my problems are with the whole like, okay, she just punched a hole through his chest and he didn't think to do that at all or use like the end battle was like, okay, the CGI is kind of
off.
But not
kind of off.
That Drax arm.
That Drax arm was terrible. That Drax arm was just terrible. Yeah. Like they didn't even try with that one.
One of the names
Why would you need Drax's arm too?
When they were listing, you have Hulk's powers, you have
some of
the ones that are on. This is the list of the names that I saw.
What blood did they get from Korg?
Nothing. How do you draw his blood?
Yeah.
How do you draw Korg's blood?
The name. These are the names that popped up. This was the order. It was Ghost, Captain America, Corvus Glaive. Also, super like random order. It's like not alphabetical. It's not based on like power ranking. It's just like thrown out there random. Corvus Glaive, Thanos, Outrider, Proxima Midnight, Captain Marvel, Abomination, Mantis, Cold Obsidian, Drax, Korg. A lot of like overlap there with Cold Obsidian, Drax, Korg, Hulk. Like what the heck? Ebony Maw, Frost Beast, Hulk, Black Panther, Chitauri, Valkyrie, Thor.
We're the
Odinson,
freaking
which also
Frost
ha-
Beast.
Thor. Oh no, never mind.
Okay, so the Frost Beast one makes some sense if you watch.
Well, no, where did we
Bloodborne.
encounter that though?
At Thor: Dark World.
But my question is, the
So-
names
And
you
then
just
there's
listed.
Gamora,
When did that get
Colossus,
collected?
which I'm guessing is Groot, and then Winter Soldier, which would have been hilarious if when they did Winter Soldier, if they did like his metal arm, you're like, okay, how'd you do that?
Like,
Come
yeah,
on.
that was part of
My
it.
question is, the names you just named, they aren't even inconsistent because it's like Black Panther, but you have Thor Odinson. Why didn't you just do T'Challa or
Yeah.
Well,
Bucky
Like
Barnes?
T'Challa
Captain
doesn't
America
really
and Winter
have-
Soldier, like that's
Right,
exact
Steve
same, like-
Rogers. It's like, what is like? You can tell like they phoned it in. Like that's what I'm talking about. It's just like,
yeah, that is the
It's
fun
like
part because
unnecessary to have all of those in one. It's very repetitive.
well,
all the
we're
same powers.
getting hung up on like pretty nitpicky stuff, which is I know
I mean,
surprising for a bunch of people who
that's-
like comic
that's
books,
just
but
it, man. I mean, we get hung up on the nitpicky stuff because it's so like out there in your face. Like,
yeah, because that's what I was gonna say.
Wow.
It's like it's
Okay.
this is nitpicky, but it's nitpicky because like Lefty said, it's just sloppy.
right.
you
And
know?
matter of fact, I got
And
something
it's
that
just
isn't.
lazy.
I got something that isn't even nitpicky. Let's talk about the science of this all. I'm not a scientist, but I promise you, all that DNA will not fit in that bio. And if they did put it in some kind of machine, there's no
it's gonna
way
all
that.
mix together at that point. It's just gonna be tainted.
Right.
DNA.
And even if they were able to put all of that DNA into one being, that being wouldn't exist because you can't put all that DNA to one person and have them survive off that DNA. It's not possible. Like I'm not
And
even a
now
scientist
also,
and I can tell you
Gaia-
that. Right.
Okay,
Guy is now the
doesn't-
most overpowered character in
Overpowered
the entire
character.
MCU. Like,
So real-
you can't. How do you beat her?
You don't beat her.
You don't.
First of all,
Like, what are they going to do with
First
this
of all,
character moving forward?
But my
thank you
thing-
to Rizzo for the raid.
Thanks,
and
Rizzo.
welcome
So-
in Raiders.
Shout out
Thank you.
Rizzo,
How's it going, guys?
Slayer, Jero.
Second of
Everybody.
all, okay. In order to be able to enjoy all of this kind of stuff, you have to be able to suspend disbelief, right? You have to suspend your disbelief. I have no problem with a comic book show saying you can put all those powers into one person. I can
Yeah.
completely suspend that disbelief. I get why, like, I feel, I hear your frustration, Lefty, but at the same time, like, no, they can do whatever the heck they want. It's a comic book movie show. Like, you can put all those powers into one person if you want to. Like, that's fine. You can, it's scientifically speaking, you can't knock the science behind any of it, because the thing is, scientifically, none of this would work at all in
Okay.
the first place.
Let's-
So you
let's-
can't, like, if you
Let me
You know.
let me talk about that for a second, because we all know that the Captain Marvel movie trailer came out, right? And we all know that her powers are intertwined.
Marvels, yeah.
Yeah, her powers
They're
are
all
intertwined.
and that now means Gaia's intertwined.
Right, that's
Like,
what I was
there's a lot.
going. Like, what is Gaia intertwined now? Because he has Captain
Yeah.
Marvel's powers. I'm confused here. Come on, Abdo. Like the science of it all. They're not even following their own science. So why should I follow it?
I think that
No.
in the trailer she has a bracelet or something, so it's not just because they have.
I'm talking about Captain
powers.
Marvel though. It's confusing. It's
It is
confusing.
confusing,
And
and it's unnecessarily confusing.
right, and it's
Yeah,
like
it's weird that they went the route of giving them all these extra powers when it's
Mhm.
like they already had. If it was just the 4 powers that were supposed to replicate the Fantastic Four, like from the comics, that would have made sense. To leave it at that. We didn't
And leave it
need
at that.
all of these other extra powers. And now we're creating this ultra superhuman
Yeah,
superhero.
and the,
It's not, like why? Why?
well,
do we
the
need
thing is too, Gaia already had those other 4 powers, right? So they
Yeah.
would have been equally matched if they just
Exactly.
met up. It could have just been a fake ass friggin' thing, vial, and then he puts it in and is like, "This is a lie, Fury," and then she just turns into Gaia and kicks his ass. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because she's the hero and he's the villain. You didn't need to give him all those other powers and confuse everything for the entire friggin' MCU.
Right.
It was just, and then just get what, crappy CGI? No, that was terrible.
right. I
Terrible.
felt and
Real quick before we move forward, I want to acknowledge Rizzo did drop a raid into the chat. So I want to welcome all the raiders who are
Where
here.
were you when Abdo talked about that?
yeah, we know it. What's going on, Rizzo? How you doing,
Yeah,
Slayer
Abdo
Gods?
was
Maybe
How you
I
doing,
was-
Taz? How you doing, Alberto?
Abdo said that like last night before he started talking last. He's like, before I go anywhere, you're gonna welcome all the raiders from Rizzo.
Hashtag real beef. That's fine.
My question is, and let's move on. Let's say we all know that location where Gaia and Gravik met up were heavily radiated, right? My question is this: all those human beings that were, tied up and had their minds controlled from the other scrolls, are you trying to tell me they weren't exposed to that radiation? Is that what you're telling me?
I'm gonna say they probably were kept in some lead container, tight or sealed area so that they could keep them alive. Otherwise, they would have died being there.
So
They had to walk out though, Ghost Dog. They walked out of there. You know that, right?
They did walk out. Now that's another problem.
Not all of them.
I am confused here.
I am not ready to go there yet.
He said not all of them walked out. That's a good point. Not all of them walked out. But my question is,
okay, so see, if you're gonna go for like scientific disputes over this kind of stuff, then yes, I agree with you on that one, right? Because the amount of lead that would be required to line that friggin' room that they're keeping them all in would be absolutely ridiculous. Or you could just say that, well, having them in the machine somehow protected them from radiation, whatever the machines they're hooked up to. Like, you could explain that away. It's just that you have to, for people like us, we want some kind of explanation, you know? Like, all you would have had to do is say one line in the show that said, oh, thank God these machines kept them from being irradiated. We need to get them out of here quickly before they die from radiation poisoning. That's what did it take me 5 seconds to say? You could have said that, and that solves all those problems, right?
Another
But
thought
they
I had
didn't do
too
that.
is what happens if, because they presumably some of those people, and it was confirmed that Rhodey was during this time. What happened during Thanos' snap? What those people were synced up to that system.
good question.
Like, are we supposed to assume that none of those people were snapped away?
But
I mean,
that's a good question. I didn't even think about that. That's a really good question, though.
yeah, I thought of that earlier when someone mentioned that now like, I don't know if you guys saw it, but it was tweeted out that the director came out and said they're making it the ending of the finale is alluding to the fact that Rhodey, which was my prediction, that he was replaced after Civil War. So he's been replaced since then.
But
which means the real Rhodey is still paralyzed and doesn't know that
okay, so
Tony Stark died.
We're getting into this now, right?
Yeah, doesn't know that Tony Stark died and doesn't even know about the snap.
Well, my thing is that's
that
kind of
time frame. There's a lot of people that were synced up there, probably like in that system. What happened to them if they snapped away, and then when they came back, like how did that
everyone came back? Everyone came back to like the same spot where they were snapped from, right? So they would just be back in the.
Well, yeah, but there's still that 5-year gap of like, oh, we're not just going to leave this stall blank. We don't know that these people are going to come back. Presumably, they probably captured someone else and put someone else's body where that other person was already. Or they completely moved it in, and whatnot. There's
but in that case, like, in that case, like, if they're in the thing, well, we don't know that they were hooking all these people up until after the snap, anyways, because lots of time's gone by, right?
Right.
So B, if they, even if they were hooked up before then, right, they get snapped away, and then this girl who was impersonating them would have been like, oh, let me just change into somebody else because that person got snapped, so I can't pretend to be that person. Or they would have been like, hey, nobody knows this person got snapped, so I'll just pretend I was like that person didn't get snapped. You know what I mean?
But that's a two-way street, because I look at it like, let's say they were snapped, like the person that they were imitating was snapped away, but they weren't. That's one side. What about the person that was snapped away?
The scroll that was snapped away.
Yeah, what about the scroll that's being snapped away? And I also, the piggyback on that, I feel like that was a smack in the face, because as they were releasing the humans, Everett Ross says, Rhodey, how long have you been here? And he doesn't even answer. And I'm like...
He doesn't answer, and then they're having to physically carry him out there where everyone else is walking.
I'm confused.
That was the first hint that, like, this dude can't walk now, so that
he's paralyzed. It's a stupid line.
After Civil War.
Well, here's the thing.
It's a stupid line because how would he know how long he'd been there?
Yeah, how long?
Well, it basically just had to tell him, like, what's the last thing you remember? That's what he should have been.
No, it's a line. But it's a line that was meant to hint to us that he's been there since friggin' Civil War. That's a line for the audience, but it's also just a stupid line in the actual show, in the context of the show, because there's no way he'd say that. Like, he'd be like, how long have we been here? Not like, Rhodey, how long have you been here specifically, you Rhodey? You know, like, it's just bad writing. It's just poor writing.
Even in the chat, Steve pointed out something. I saw someone on Twitter post about this too. It says the Rhodey in Endgame has a scene where he bleeds on his head, and guess what? It's red blood. Scrolls don't have red blood, so it just was a forced choice. So it's like, that's one of those things, maybe they wrote themselves into a plot hole with that one, because of, like, it's definitely alluding to that he was captured before then, but of course there's red blood.
It's poor, sloppy writing, which is what the whole show suffered from.
Right, and I feel like they could have done so much better on so many points. Like, it didn't require a lot of effort to make certain things a little bit better, and I feel like
purple, YT, not green.
Yeah, and it's just
It's splattered all over the walls of the the Fury House. Or whatever, so
And I felt like the
In the hospital.
president going live on national TV, indicating that any species not born on planet is an enemy of the planet. I felt like that was probably the dumbest thing that Marvel could have did. That was just so dumb. And I felt like
I don't know.
Nick Fury just went back to the space saver.
That just set up the plot of, because Fury followed up with that later on, saying that's real one-term presidency kind of thing.
Yeah,
which
that
is
I'm okay with.
a complete clue set up that Thunderbolt Ross is coming in to be
you're
president.
you're not going to be around much longer.
Right.
That I'm okay with. It was stupid of the president, like in context of the universe. Yeah, it's just a really poor choice on his part. But as far as setting up other things, I think that makes sense to me. You know,
My thing is, I had so much expectations of the show, and I felt like this show may have ruined future shows for me because I won't be going into future shows as optimistic as I usually am.
But that's the thing. We weren't. I think after Miss Marvel and She-Hulk, I think a lot of people went in with kind of low expectations.
Yeah.
And
See,
for it to be as bad of an ending as, like, it started off well because we all were excited the first 2 or 3 episodes,
Yeah.
right?
I actually liked last episode. I was like, okay,
Last episode
they're
was
building to
pretty
something.
decent, yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was just, this is probably a bigger letdown than the WandaVision letdown.
This is River's on the episode. By
Even
the way.
River is like, nah, that was trash.
Yeah.
No, but see, Lefty, I'm going to say this is probably a good thing for you in that now you will go into the next few shows with lowered expectations. So therefore, if they,
Hopefully they exceed them.
they beat that, then that's probably a good thing. Because generally speaking, you just don't underestimate the power of having very low expectations of something.
But
That's what I expect of.
this show should have been that show that would have been like, okay, how we felt about WandaVision, how we felt about Loki, how we felt about Captain America, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, all those shows. This
Do you
should have been
remember Hawkeye?
along those lines.
Hawkeye was trash. I don't care what anyone says.
This show should have been along that line because it was about the spy. It was a storyline that personally affected him. It was a storyline that he had been involved in since the 90s. This is something that he was ultimately responsible for. I agree with Abdo. This should have been a movie with more explanation, about 2.5 hours long. And I don't know. I just felt like it started climbing that hill, and then as quickly as it climbed,
it came crashing down.
I just feel like it was they absolutely did not stick the landing. Like that was, I think it was doing fine. I was excited last episode. I don't have a problem that Gaia was the one who went to face him. That was very predictable, but that's fine, no big deal.
But it made sense. Yeah, like she's the only one that could have defeated him in that.
Yeah. But then the things that they did unnecessarily, like, oh, here, let's give him all these ridiculous powers that completely unbalances all of the friggin' MCU at the same time. Or the president. I was okay with the president going the opposite direction because that was something that I didn't expect. I expected him to be like, hey, anybody who comes forward right now as a Skrull, we're going to give you amnesty or something, right? Or that kind of thing, like just change into your normal. But no, he didn't do that. He went the absolute opposite direction, just xenophobic, hateful, bastard kind of thing, which is also believable to me as far as humans would react. So, or at least certain humans would react, right? But like that, there are parts of it that I'm fine with. But it was the other things that they did that were just completely unnecessary. And then also the CGI kind of sucked, and it was kind of short, and it was kind of like screwed up all these things with Rhodey, and it's just too much stuff. They just screwed up the ending, which is crap. It was just crap.
But that's not you can piggyback. He said he's every alien or every person that wasn't born on this planet is going to be an enemy of the planet. So does that include Asgard? Because you created a whole you created a whole location. He created a whole location for them.
And it's just like a terrible plan because the Asgardians are pretty friggin' powerful, so and they're pretty popular too, so that's just a bad idea. But then so we haven't gotten to the ending where the British MI6 lady was like, hey, you come work for us because we're not gonna trash all the aliens. So basically he just set it up for America to be a bunch of dumbasses trying to fight aliens on their own with this one president, which is why we're gonna get Thunderbolt Ross going forward, right?
Yeah, I'm getting tired of them.
Is fine for me.
I'm getting tired of them using shows like this just to set up other shows or other movies. That's all they seem to doing. And I feel like at this point, Marvel knows how big it is. They know people are going to watch whatever they put out. so they don't have to put in a lot of effort. And I felt like you didn't put in a lot of effort in this, and it shows. This is Nick Fury here. Like I have the highest of expectations of a show called Secret Invasions featuring Nick Fury.
I was pretty excited for it too, and I was feeling pretty good about it. And this was a pretty big letdown. So,
Player God thing, y'all would not be able to handle the scroll reveals from the comics. Secret Invasion. Everyone was a scroll, and it undid a lot of character development.
Actually, I want to piggyback off that. I want to piggyback off that because I felt like this show could have been a little bit better had they had some Avengers in it. Like
you've been saying, if this had been a movie and we had a lot more of the bigger people part of this to be, if it had been more accurate to that, instead it's just like they chose like the slightest bit of this massive story. From what I've heard, is Secret Invasion. Like, because hand up, I don't know much about the comics. What I know about comics, I get from videos watching. Like, so
it's a huge story.
Secret Invasion easily could have been, if not a 2-part movie.
Right. I agree.
It could have been a huge thing building up to it, and instead they went with the Kang Dynasty crap, and well, that's not working out for other reasons. But they could have. Yeah.
Before we continue, let me just ask everyone. I'm on a scale of 1 to 10. What would you rate this show or the final episode? How would you rate the final episode? I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10. That's my rating for the show.
The final
episode or the show?
Either or, whatever you want to rate is fine.
No, what was your choice though? Like, what do you rate the final episode versus what do you rate the show overall?
Okay, the final episode, a 4 out of 10. The series, I'll give a 7 out of 10.
Okay. I'm gonna say. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's pretty good. I might give the series as a whole 6 out of 10, honestly, just because the final episode brought it down so bad for me.
I agree, Captain Bay.
I texted my buddy after I watched it and said I gave it a 6.5. The whole series.
Okay. Ghost Dog.
Yeah, I'm part of the whole series just because this last episode is some of the things that happen in it. Definitely a 6.5 out of 10. This episode probably puts me around 3 to 3.5.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Like, I mean, I didn't absolutely hate it. I
didn't hate it, but it was just like I had questions. Okay. Like, if it wasn't the finale, I answered, and honestly, I had like 7 more after that.
Like, like it just didn't feel. It wasn't a satisfying finale.
I agree.
Like, there's a lot of shows who screw up the finale, but it just. Because it's one season of 6 episodes and every episode got shorter as it went along too, it just was like, we built to all this? Like, what? You know?
All right, I agree.
It really brought the whole series down overall.
Someone said that they should make it more than 6 episodes. Here's the thing. They only have a select budget. Yeah. So when you only get $150 million, that's what you get. Honestly, this is what you get for $150 million.
They definitely could have did a little bit better, and I'm a little bit disappointed with the direction they chose to go.
I'm surprised if Nick Fury, aka Samuel Jackson, didn't take a nice chunk of that, along with Gaia's character, the woman who played Gaia,
Emilia Clarke. Yeah,
Emilia. I'm sure they took a nice chunk of that, as they already played perfect. They're pretty high-paid actors already.
Probably more than Kingsley Benadir or whatever his name is, but I thought he was great. I thought he was really good, actually. So if we're talking about like good parts of the show, I think that like the storyline didn't serve, because it's you know what, maybe I don't want to go quite as low on that final episode, just because there were parts of it, some of his speech and some of Samuel Jackson's speech where they're going back and forth, but actually it's Gaia, that kind of stuff. Some of that was pretty damn good, I thought.
Yeah, because I was definitely,
and the feelings about it and everything,
There was some good parts, but overall that episode wasn't that good, and I'm really disappointed by it. Okay, I had to stop.
It brought the whole thing down.
I just finished recording, so that's why I was asking everyone's opinion. So I just finished recording. Now we can talk freely without it feeling bad. So I got to.
Before?
No, well, the stuff. Gabdo, you got a potty mouth here, so not a bad thing.
Now we can swear again.
No, I'm saying, like, I just want to let you know I was recording for the video for the channel, so now we can continue to talk and bounce around to different subjects. But I'm glad we were able to stay focused on episode 6 of Secret Invasions for at least 30 minutes. So, got a video coming out.
You had to bleep things.
Oh, I'm not bleep. No, I'm not bleep. This is not my gaming channel.
About Miss Marvel. So it's kind of going back to the whole, we were talking about how like each of these Marvel Disney Plus shows has been seeing like a gradual decline, people coming with less expectations. I saw a tweet saying that IMAX isn't even gonna have any screens playing Miss Marvel, and they're dedicating more of those to oh, what was the other movie that I saw? Oh, Dune 2. They're saying Dune 2 they're gonna run for 5 to 6 weeks instead of giving Miss Marvel any screens for IMAX.
Actually,
I was like, if IMAX isn't even wanting to put a Marvel movie on their screens anymore, that shows you the direction Disney Plus or Disney is going with these Marvel movies.
not even that. You know, each other movie isn't good. The movie's not going to be good.
It's just a gamble, I would say.
It's not the guaranteed
so
lock like it used to be with Marvel.
Yeah,
it's sad to see. Hopefully they can turn it around, but I mean, like, I don't know what's gonna be that movie. We thought Guardians 3 was a good step back in the right direction.
It's all right.
But
the thing is, like, though, we talked about it before, the Marvel fatigue, and that's a thing.
No,
for sure.
Actually, I kind of agree with that, but I don't think there's such thing as superhero fatigue. But Marvel fatigue, I don't know if I really believe that, because Guardians of the Galaxy was great and it made good money at the box office. I don't think it's fatigue. I think people are getting tired of bad stuff that they're putting out.
No, talk to people who don't like. You gotta have friends who don't like Marvel, who don't follow this kind of stuff. Talk to them about it, because like I got a lot of friends who don't pay any attention to this kind of stuff. They went to like Endgame or the big ones. Now they're just like, dude, I'm fully over it. I'm not paying any attention to this stuff.
They're not like us. They don't like them. So
but I mean, but that's the wider audience that these movies need to capture in order to make the kind of money that they've been making. Like I got a buddy who plays Snap, and he couldn't give a shit less about watching, Secret Invasion or anything.
I'm gonna say this, and maybe this may not be true, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I don't think you need to watch the shows to enjoy the movies. At first, I was one of them people that believed that, okay, I need to watch these shows so I can really enjoy the movies and understand what Easter eggs they're referencing. But I'm starting to get to the point where I don't even care about watching the shows anymore. Like, I'm starting to get there.
I'm not there yet, just because I like entertainment. This is the entertainment I like. I'm gonna go in with lower expectations. This one I had a high expectation for. It started off very well. It ended very poorly. There were some things about it that I've shared with you guys. I definitely did not care for. With the whole Rhodey being as a scroll, and when did he get taken? Because I've shared with you guys the connection that the conversations he had with Sam Wilson, and even up to the point of other conversations, like his emotional tie to Tony Stark. Like, yeah, they understood it, but you can't. It's not the same. Rhodey and Tony had been through a ton together, and to be now coming up as a scroll that potentially in Endgame he was already gone and been replaced.
Right. I feel like that undermines his character.
On the whole, people getting captured, they got snapped away. So the whole point of them being still tied up to that is so that whoever the scroll is can still gather their memories, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if, say, the scroll version of that person doesn't get snapped, but the real person does, how does that scroll then continue pretending to be the person if they don't have that connection anymore now?
I can tell you how. It's like this. It's like when people got snapped, and for that 5 years, I'm assuming everyone was devastated. So of course people will act different and be changed by that. Yeah. So I'm assuming that has something to do with it. Yeah, that was easy cover up to me. But
they talked about Fury not being the same person he was.
Yeah.
And that conversation that Gaia had, I'm assuming that she got some of Fury's memories to have that conversation.
No. That's the thing. She didn't, because Fury's never hooked up to one of those machines. And
you don't have to be hooked to the machine. They actually can touch your mind before that's what they showed, that they actually can touch their mind to get their memory. I
thought they had to be for sure. But the thing is too, like Fury's gonna keep his secrets. He's not gonna give that stuff away at all. He's not gonna let someone access his mind. And you see, when they're having the confrontation,
there was some confusion. Like there's some things she didn't know.
Yeah, Gravik is asking, you don't recognize this face? It's because it's Gaia, and she didn't take his memories.
Right.
So I don't think she took his memories at all, because it wasn't really necessary. But he would have told her some stuff, right? Same way as he could have told her how to use some of the power, not how to use some of the powers, but what some of the powers available would have been, that kind of stuff. But I don't think she took his memories at all. I think you mostly need that machine, basically. And they describe that in Captain Marvel, that part of that is because the way that they go back and look at her memories and stuff is very disjointed, and so you have to kind of know specifically how to look for some of that stuff.
But only that, let me ask you all this: was there any good in the episode? Like, we talked about the bad, and there was a lot of bad, but was there anything good about the episodes you liked? The only thing I'm gonna say was good, in my opinion, was I really liked the speech that Gaia / Nick Fury gave to Gravik. I thought that was nice, but it was undercut because we know that Nick Fury didn't give that speech. Like, some of the stuff she says, thinking back on it, it's like I don't know if Nick Fury would say that, but I just felt like
it was how she felt, not him.
Right, and it's just like, I don't know how I feel about a lot of stuff going forward about Marvel, because I feel like this series undercuts a lot of things that happen in the MCU, in my opinion.
I think Nick Fury killing the pretend Rhodey was good. Like, seeing him dying was satisfying, but they still made a similar mistake of it. Like, he was the only person around the president. Like, when they wheeled him out of there, yeah, they had some more officers and everything, like, defend Nick Fury's on his way, but then, like, it was just then left to, okay, now it's just Rhodey with the president again.
Yeah, that was a weird situation too, because if he was in critical condition, there's no way they wouldn't have had him unless they literally couldn't move him. He would have been back in the U.S. He probably just would have been on Air Force One, honestly.
Yeah. So it was kind of funny too, like,
they would have been refueling Air Force One, and he would have been flying around. There's no way he would have been chilling in a hospital in Britain. That's just stupid.
It'd have been nice if Thunderbolt Ross made an appearance in the show.
Yeah.
That would have been nice, in my opinion. Like, I felt like there were little things that the MCU could have did that would have made this show better than what it is. And I feel like, to be honest, this doesn't even feel like a Kevin Feige production. It feels like Kevin Feige's name on it, but I don't feel like he had a lot of input on it. And I feel like Disney came in and Disney-fied it, and they said, we were looking for this and this and that. And I feel like Disney is ruining a lot of great franchises and shows because it's Disney and they have a certain vision of certain things. Don't attack me, Disney. Do not demonetize. Well, I'm not monetized anyway, but don't prolong my monetization with that statement. But it's true.
Yeah, don't mess with the mouse. You know how that goes.
I like Disney, but I feel like at times it's like you don't need to make things the way you need them to be. Like, they need to follow their own structure. Like, I feel like if they've ruined Deadpool and Deadpool is PG-13, I'm going to have a problem.
I think they already announced that that's going to be rated
They already announced it's going to be rated R, yeah.
But how rated R is it going to be? Is it going to be a little rated R, like what, one nudie scene? Or is it Deadpool?
I don't know, but it's the third Deadpool movie, man. Like, don't expect out of sequels in general. Like, that's just traditional, you know? Like, sequels usually suck. And so, like, I don't think Deadpool 2 is as good as Deadpool 1 by any means. So
I disagree.
I actually enjoyed Deadpool 2.
Deadpool 2 to me is better than Deadpool 1.
Equally as good.
I didn't think it was bad. I just didn't think it was as good as the original, because generally speaking, the original is better. That's how.
Yeah, I think I like the first one more.
Yes, yeah. Deadpool 2 to me was better than Deadpool 1. Not that the Deadpool 1 was bad. I love them both. I just think they did a good job with it, and I'm kind of excited for Deadpool 3, because I need Ryan Reynolds to be Deadpool through and through. Like, I need him to not be censored and use foul language and say inappropriate stuff.
I don't think you were excited for anything left Marvel related after this.
I'm not, because I feel like I had the back when me and Captain Bay and Abdo was dissing us back when we first started the channel. I told you how excited I was about episode 1 and 2 and 3, and I was like, this might be my second favorite show. And then after episode 4, my expectations began to go down. It's like, what was that?
It just nosedive crash.
Right, and it's just like, what the hell was that? I felt like I could.
Episode 5. I wasn't here last week.
Episode 5 was decent.
I was excited for the finale, and it was just a huge letdown.
Right, the CGI to me, I think that was a smack in the face as well. The CGI was terrible. Like, in every final episode of every season, they always have some kind of CGI battle that looks like crap, and it's just like, you could do better. You're a multi-billion-dollar company.
Or they go the route of Moon Knight and just don't show us the final battle.
Right, and
CGI Moon Knight looked like pretty terrible. But
it's just like they need to stop this. They need to pay these writers and these actors, and I need this writer strike to end, because it's getting out of control.
Another story.
Let's understand this: the writer strike had nothing to do with what was going on currently in Secret Invasion. That was
because all that was finished up,
recorded, and ready.
Actually, let me address that, because I think it might have had something to do with it. Because think about this, Ghost Dog. If you're on your way out the door of any company, or you're about to go on strike,
this was done months. This might have been done for a year before all this went down.
I just feel like if you want to get paid real good back then, you're not going to put 100% into it, and it shows that they didn't put 100%. Not the writers. I felt like the studio execs didn't put a lot of money that they could have put into it.
Yeah.
Well,
fast out real quick, it was 150 million, not 200 million.
Yeah, but but it's completely possible. No strike, no whatever. There's lots of bad writing. So like, I'm not going to blame that on the strike because there's lots of bad writing in Hollywood in general.
I mean, let's look at She-Hulk. Let's look at Ms. Marvel. Let's look at. I mean, honestly, Moon Knight. The back half of that one was not great.
There's plenty of bad writing,
Hawkeye,
irrespective of that.
Hawkeye, I would wipe my butt with that.
Right, I kind of agree.
I don't even hate Hawkeye that much, but it's like there's plenty of things that like you can have a show that's generally well written too, and have a crappy episode, or have crappy parts of an episode that don't make sense. So
my thing is, I just feel like Marvel's suffering from that. You know, when you get really big and you know everyone's loving what you're putting out. I feel like they're crumbling under the pressure that they created for themselves. Because every time Marvel releases something, we have the highest expectation. We've seen Endgame, we've seen Infinity War, and we're going to expect something to be just as good, if not better, than those movies. And I feel like
that's where, again, I completely disagree with you, because that was the peak, and my expectation is that nothing will ever be that good again. So I come at it from a different perspective. Because like that was the peak. That's as good as it gets for me. I don't know how they were ever going to beat that. So going forward, I don't expect anything to be better. I expect everything to be progressively either like pretty good still, or entertaining, or stuff I want to watch. But I don't expect it to be better. How the heck would they do better than that? That's the best they ever did. They built that for a decade, and it was the first time they did it. There's no way in the heck they're going to ever beat that.
I can tell you how they can beat it. I can tell you how. Secret Wars and Kang Dynasty. That's how they're going to be.
That is definitely affected by the writer's strike, and more than that by Jonathan Majors probably being a total huge piece of garbage. You know, like, but they can't do rewrites, they can't do reshoots, they can't do any of that kind of stuff, and that is totally affected by the strikes.
Maybe my expectations should be more so.
I have high expectations for that.
Maybe it should be geared to season 4 should be like season 1. Maybe that's what I should expect. But I feel like I have the highest. I expect Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars to be better than Avengers Endgame and Avengers Infinity War. That's what I'm expecting.
Well, you're going to be disappointed, my friend.
But I feel like
I think it's hard. I think it's hard to set those expectations because there's not as many years in development built into that, and what came before Endgame and Infinity War was all like great content, and what we have leading into Kang Dynasty so far is a lot of mediocre to bad with a few good sprinkled in here and there that we're going to be excited for. Like, so that and it's not a whole 10-year decade worth of development. It's all of this just smashed together in a much shorter time that they're trying to recreate what they did with Endgame and Infinity War, which, I mean,
there's no love like your first love.
They're not gonna. It's almost like the whole like sequel thing. Like Infinity War and Endgame is the first movie, and then Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars is going to be the sequel to that in a sense. It's like the sequel is not going to be better than the original in this case. I don't think. I do have hope that it will be close to it, maybe, or because I love a good team up, and so. Hopefully it works out, but I don't think. I think setting an expectation to be higher than it. Obviously, things could change between now and then. A lot from here on out. Everything they drop could be absolutely amazing, and then we get really excited for it again. But the kind of talking earlier, it just seems like it's on a slow slope going down.
And
there's no love. There's no love like your first love. Indiana Jones is. You know, the Raiders of the Lost Ark is better than Temple of Doom. Like, that's just silly. The first Matrix movie I like a lot. They didn't need to make any goddamn sequels.
I can agree with that. I agree.
You know, there's very few times like, okay, maybe Terminator 2 is better than the first Terminator, but like there's very few times where the sequel ever beats the original, right? They spent a decade setting up all these movies, bringing these things all together with all these big actors, all of these huge characters, and in a way that no one had ever done before in Hollywood to culminate in Endgame. If you expect that they can do that every time out of the gate, you're just setting yourself up for disappointment. Now, I do think that we should expect these things still to be good and still to be fun, but they're never going to be as good as the first time for me. So
I actually want to. You actually said something that Slayer piggybacked off. Slayer said not every phase needs an end game. Fair, but every phase from phase 1 to phase 3 had an Avengers type movie, and we didn't even get that with phase 4. It went straight from phase 4 to phase 5. Now, what's wrong with me expecting some kind of team up at the end of phase 4? Because they had several movies that were, a lot of them were bad. There was only 3 movies in phase 4 that were good to me. Spider-Man, Far From Home, I think, Wakanda, and I think that's pretty much it. Who was
Spider-Man No Way Home as well?
Shang-Chi was good.
Spider-Man No Way Home,
Spider-Man No Way Home, Far From Home,
Wakanda Forever,
Black Panther.
Wakanda Forever. Phase 4 was the weakest.
Was hot garbage.
No, are you crazy? You crazy
about that?
You crazy,
I
Abdo?
love Wakanda Forever. It was definitely not as good as the first one.
It was definitely not. It's like nowhere near as good. Nowhere near as good.
But I mean, in terms of the other movies that have come out in phase 4 and 5, it's in the upper half, probably for sure. Probably like one of the top 5. But that's not saying much because like we've had a lot of.
You didn't like Shang-Chi? I think Shang-Chi was good. I felt like it was okay.
No. Phase 1 was so much better than phase 4.
Right. Phase 4 was nothing compared to phase 1. Nothing. Like, it's not even on the same level.
It's not gonna. So don't have those expectations because you're just gonna disappoint yourself.
No, I disagree, Abdo. I feel like if you create a engine or a system like Marvel, and you keep building it on phase, of course everyone's expectations are gonna go up. Like, are you telling me that because phase 1 was so iconic that I can't have high expectations for phase 4? No, that's not how it works. You create these expectations.
You can't have high expectations.
They
I'm
created.
You can't have high expectations. I'm just saying.
I think I understand what Slayer is trying to get at here. Correct me if I'm wrong, Slayer. But I think what he's trying to say is that phase 4 is essentially having to replicate phase 1. It's the start of a new
start of a new one,
beginning, which leading up into the next big crossover, which is phase 1. We first getting introduced to all these new characters, which is how phase 4 started out. Yeah. Which I think that's what Slayer was trying to say, not comparing phase 1 being the same as
Act 7.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I have expectations, and I think that's based on Marvel. Marvel's created these expectations, not me. They created them, and there's nothing wrong with them. No, there's nothing wrong with me expecting good quality stuff. You got to admit, Abdo, the movies they've been pushing out since Endgame have not been on par with phase 1.
But you said not expecting good quality stuff. I do expect good quality stuff, but earlier you said you expected them to keep getting better and better. That's an unrealistic expectation.
No, I don't think it is, because like you have a budget, and these movies are generating money.
Do you have no experience with life though?
Dude, life and movies are two different things.
Get worse.
That's true, but life. Hear me out, Abdo. I feel like life and movies, two different things. In life, I got to deal the cards that are dealt to me, regardless of how I feel about them. I got to make them work. When you're dealing with movies, you get people spending billions of dollars on your movies. Billions, not millions, but billions. And
that doesn't matter. Okay.
I feel like
you only have. Think about. Oh, sorry. Okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead and finish your thought.
Well, so there's only so many characters that they've created for comic books, right?
That's
correct. If you want to continue with those comic book characters, they used all the best characters to fire things off from the launch. Now they got to go to their B tier characters like Shang-Chi or friggin' Iron Fist or whoever. Like, they already use all the good characters, and unless you just want to reboot those every single time like they did with the X-Men movies, dude, those actors, they age.
Hold on.
You could choose to just use AI for those, but that's what the whole friggin' strike's about.
Time out. Hold on. Let me.
Here's one thing.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Captain. Go ahead. I got you. I'll speak up to you.
We may even have the same thought here. I don't know.
Maybe.
But it could be one of those things too. Like, I mean, some people might say, well, how popular was Iron Man one of like the biggest characters when he was first introduced though?
No,
like,
he wasn't. He wasn't.
He was not a big character. Was Star-Lord a big character?
No.
Barely anyone knew about the Guardians in general, and then he became a household name now. Obviously, like, I think Captain America was a big name. Everyone knows Hulk. Everyone knows Spider-Man. But like, there are like many of those movies that initially got the MCU started. Like Black Widow, was she a big character?
No, she wasn't. Not to me, maybe. Man, not to me.
Like, I'm genuinely asking. Like, I don't know. So chat, let us know if I'm off saying this.
No, you're right.
Yeah, but thinking back to a lot of those movies that made the MCU what it is, it wasn't Like they didn't start out with Spider-Man and the X-Men that are the two biggest MC or Marvel.
Because they didn't have those rights, though.
Again, they didn't
Good
have those
point.
rights
Because
but
they
still
would have
made it work.
otherwise.
So that's where it all just comes down to them introducing these characters in a way that makes us relate to them and love them and just connect and want more out of them. And that's just going to come down to good writing, which, well, if we don't have writers, if we're not paying those writers, that's where we got to get that figured out. So that's where they could get this back in the right direction. Just give us good stories. Don't give us freaking Ant-Man 3 shit.
Right, and that's what I'm talking about, Abdul. Like, you have good points. Actors are getting older, and they only can use so many characters. My thing is that you have a great point. I don't disagree with that, but my problem is the writing. I want a good story, and I feel like me asking for a good story is nothing wrong with having expectations. Like, you can put whatever character you want in a movie. If the story good, I'm gonna be in. Like I told you, Abdul, you went in my stream when I talked about She-Hulk and how I thought it was gonna be an action show, and it was just a show about a woman going through her life. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I expected better writing, and that's more so what I'm piggybacking on. Like, give me better writing. You can use whatever characters you want. You can use whatever characters you want. I got your
point about that, because you said you expected that from the trailer, and when I went back and watched the trailer, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I understand why you said that, right? No,
right.
I'm not trying to like, because I get your point too, because there's nothing wrong with us expecting good writing.
Right. That's my biggest
more
point.
than anything else, right?
Right.
I'm just saying that if you expect everything to progressively get to be better and better and better, I feel like you're setting yourself up for disappointment. And I don't want you to be disappointed. You know, I'm just having more realistic expectations about this based on life, and oftentimes things are disappointing. And so when you have lower expectations, you come out of it with, like, if something's not excellent, then it's like, oh, that's not bad. That's cool. Because all this stuff to me is just fun. And
I don't know. Secret Invasion wasn't fun. But go on.
The first part of it was. The first few episodes were.
Good point.
Until the finale, it was.
Good point.
So, like, I just want to have fun with this stuff, and every once in a while be blown away by one where I'm like, oh, damn, that was really good. But for the most part, I'm just going to be like, I just, as long as these are fun, they're entertaining, that's cool. There's going to be things to nitpick and things I'm upset about in individual things and everything. Some I'll like more than others. But overall, my expectation level is just like kind of a base expectation of, as long as they do this good, I'll be happy with it because it was fun. There's certain things where they didn't do that, right? Like Hawkeye. I didn't meet any base expectation levels. That was like, I like Jeremy Renner and Haley Steinfeld and Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin, and this was shit. This is terrible writing and just wasn't entertaining. There was no action. There was just like, oh, he's a guy suffering from hearing loss. Like, it's not like there's some like real things they tried to do, but it just didn't work out. But so just having like a base expectation level of like, yeah, this should be entertaining. My expectation is give me everything in Marvel 75%.
But
at least if it's a C, then I'll live with it. And if it hits an A every once in a while, then I'm going to be super excited about that. But I don't expect an A every time, because I just don't think that's a reasonable expectation.
My thing is, like, the first three phases, to me, every phase was better than the last, and it culminated with Endgame. And then we got to phase 4, which started unexpectedly low with the Eternals, Black Widow. Shang-Chi was a high point. Then it got Spider-Man, and then it went back down with Doctor Strange and Rise of the Scarlet Witch and Thor: Love and Thunder. It's like, I can understand what you're saying, Aldo, but I feel like what they've been putting out, they haven't even been C's. They've been D's and F's, and that's what I'm annoyed by. It's like, that's fair. I want better, and I feel like, as a Marvel fan who's been with Marvel, following them for over 10 years now, I don't feel like I'm asking for a lot. I understand what your point you're making. Not everything's gonna get better, but what they have been putting out haven't been good either. And it's like, you can do better than this, Marvel. And I felt like with Secret Wars, that was a tipping point for me, because it's like, what the hell is episode 6 of Secret Invasions? That was just horrible. You didn't even try to make that a good episode. You really phoned that in. Not you, Abdo, but Marvel and Disney. It's like, y'all could have did better with that.
Your fault, Abdo.
They could have did so much better, and I'm annoyed by that. I'm seriously annoyed, because I don't have high expectations for Loki anymore. I think Loki might be bad. I think it might be teetering on bad.
So
I think you're gonna like Loki more now because you have low expectations.
Probably.
I mean, good point.
Here's a good question for everybody in the group. So we've now had Disney Plus shows for what, about 2 years or so?
Yeah, I think 2 years. Yeah.
Has Disney Plus episodes hurt or helped the MCU?
Hurt. I'll say it first. They have hurt. They have to me. To be honest, to me,
the only shows that have had any impact on the actual MCU movies going forward, going back to what we talked about earlier, like what shows have been important to watch in order to understand plots in the movies. The only ones to me so far that have had an impact or will have an impact have been WandaVision, because the whole thing with her being in Doctor Strange, like if you hadn't seen WandaVision, I think I've said it before, I feel like you'd be a little confused, like why is she a villain, why is she talking about these kids, like what's the dark cold, like what's going on here. There's a lot there that I think would be confusing. And then the other one that we haven't seen the impact yet is Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Obviously Sam taking over as Captain America, that's going to be the big thing in the next Captain America movie. So like if you haven't seen that, you're all of a sudden like, wait, Falcon is now Captain America, like when did that happen? So to me those are the only two though that if you haven't seen those shows, you're going to be confused. The rest, like the next time these characters are going to pop up, it's going to be like, oh, this is a new character, and you're not going to be like wondering, like, wait, where'd this person come from?
As bad as this show was, the Secret Invasion, that is, I think it's still going to have an impact because now we are figuring out who were Skrulls and who weren't, and it'll get. I figured like Rhodey, even though we didn't get the full explanation here in Iron Wars, we'll probably get some kind of explanation of how long he was under and why now Iron Wars is what it is.
I was just about to say Slayer. I thought of that as Ghost Dog started saying. He said the sacred timeline in Loki as well. That was a big impact as well. So Loki, I throw that one in there too.
Yeah, I thought you said Loki. Maybe I read it somewhere.
I thought of it like right after I was like I forgot that major point at the end of Loki because that kind of opened things up. Morbius is going to be in Deadpool 3. So.
Morbius is going to be like, is there anyone not going to be in Deadpool 3 at this point?
They're going to have like tons of cameos. So the cameos all across the
I'm not in it though. So
probably half their budget is on cameos, and the CGI is going to suck.
I feel like every phase should have some kind of crossover event or something to build to the next phase, because that's what they did in the first 3 phases. So why not continue that tradition?
So I'm going to say, so it'll be Moby time? No, that doesn't sound as good. I'm going to say overall, I think it's been the effect on the MCU has just been a wash. I'd say I don't think it matters. I think for the most part you don't got to watch the shows. Some of them, you kind of want some of the backstory. But overall, for me, it's just extra content. It's just like for me, it's been a positive effect, because it's given me some shows to watch and some of them I liked. Yeah. But as far as like for the effect of the overall MCU and stuff, pretty much just a wash. I don't know. Not that important.
But my thing is, big a deal. The piggyback off of what Captain Bay said, WandaVision, right? Everyone watched that. You want to know someone that didn't watch Captain Bay? The director of Doctor Strange 2 said he didn't even watch WandaVision. And everything that happens to Wanda... I'm about to say, to be honest, I felt like if the director of a movie that's supposed to be built off a show didn't even watch the show.
And that's my point. Like, if you're going to create these shows, and I think the reason why it has hurt the MCU more than it's helped, if you're going to create these shows that are supposed to be intertwined to the actual MCU itself, then they need to understand what's the going forward thought process of the upcoming show and or movie that's going to happen, because you can't write. The director or the writer of She-Hulk had zero clue what was actually going on in the overall MCU. So there was a lot of things, that she wrote it in, but it's not going to affect the MCU anyway, because none of it really mattered to the MCU. Secret Invasions. I have a hard time believing that the people who wrote, or that everybody who wrote on the Secret Invasions, understood what was going on in the actual Marvel universe with these characters.
I agree.
Yeah, and the thing is, go ahead, Cap.
Oh, I was just gonna say, and another thing they've gotten away from is the way that they have in phases 1, 2, and 3, the way they seamlessly tied all of those shows or all those movies actually at the time, all those movies together by like either whether or not it's just throwing an end credit scene of teasing what is coming next. Now, when's the last time a movie had an end credit scene that was teasing whatever the next movie is, not just the sequel of the movie you're watching? It doesn't set up like we got all like the Thanos end credit teases of tying those in. We got Tony Stark running into like, or Nick Fury talking to Captain America, alluding to the Avengers, like all that kind of stuff that all was leading these movies in the same direction. Right now, it's like, oh, we've got this show up here, we've got this show over here, we got this movie down here, and it hasn't been anything like this is a leading you into what's coming next kind of thing.
I agree.
It's all just all over the place right now.
So okay. So what I would say is, I think that makes perfect sense because those expectations were set up. That everything would culminate and pay off, and that's because that's what it did, right? That's how they set up all those movies. I understand that expectation, but B, I don't need everything to connect. I'm totally fine because if you look at comic books, right, you get one-off, runs of comic books that don't connect to the overall larger story. Yeah, I'm fine with looking at the Disney Plus shows that way.
I can't.
Not every Disney Plus. Right, but like not every Disney Plus show needs to connect to everything. Every other Disney Plus show.
That part
I think it's absolutely criminal if there's a writer of a show that has a bunch of source material and stuff that does connect that doesn't watch the movies or doesn't watch the show, right? Like you're talking about with WandaVision and Multiverse of Madness. That's just stupid, right?
Yeah,
that's just stupid. But like Secret Invasion too, Secret Invasion is something that definitely has to connect with everything else. So that one has to work with that. But like you could just have She-Hulk and that doesn't have to connect to anything else. That's fine.
Yeah.
That doesn't bother me. So like I'm fine with some shows not being connected. And I think that's part of why like earlier the Netflix stuff and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and that kind of stuff, they specifically left out of saying, hey, this doesn't necessarily all connect to the wider MCU. It wasn't just because they had different studios and a different like kind of deal with it. It's just because also that's easier not to have to mess with that. Because the more you do and the more you have, the more unwieldy it becomes. Like not every writer for every show can go back and see every single Marvel movie before they start working on the next series or doing that kind of stuff. They got other stuff that they work on. It doesn't have to
be every single writer to watch every single Marvel movie.
I'm just saying, working, like, some of them it does.
And here's where I agree with you. Every show doesn't need to be connected, but the shows that are connected need to be written accordingly so that when we go to the movies, it makes sense.
I agree.
Right now, if Secret Invasion was a movie as opposed to a TV show, I think it would have been a lot more intertwined with what's going on. I think that's what it goes back to too. Phase 5.
It's because we all I think pretty much in agreement. This probably should have been a movie, and it just would make more sense that way. So yeah, I just think it is a thing. If they're gonna have shows that don't connect, that's totally fine with me. But I want them to kind of set up those expectations of like, hey guys, it's just a one-off thing. Like, because we expect Deadpool doesn't matter in the MCU, right? That's just a fun thing. I think
that's gonna be the full introduction to mutants.
Yeah, but I'll say I think that movie should be very important to the MCU. I think it should be.
The first couple weren't, right?
Yeah, because this one. I think it should be though. This one should be very important to Deadpool.
Fox in general, it had nothing really to do with the MCU, which is why the first few Deadpool movies had nothing to do with the MCU. They poked fun at the MCU, like the helicarriers that were in the first one that were crashed, from that wreckage of Winter Soldier. Like they used those.
Oh wow! I didn't even notice that, but people did allude to the helicarrier being in Deadpool at the finale. Yeah, I didn't know they were poking fun at it. Yeah, the suspense is killing us. I need to know.
Basically, an adaptation of Deadpool kills the Marvel universe, and so it's probably not going to connect to anything wider. It's not going to connect to Kang Dynasty and that kind of stuff. Right?
Actually, it might.
It's just going to be.
It might.
But it's not in any kind of major way that you absolutely have to see. It's going to be Deadpool killing off maybe some of like the multiverse. Like it's going to be like Deadpool killing off the Fox and Sony multiverse, and then everything will be back in MCU. So in that way, it might connect. But like, you know what I mean? Like it's not going to be setting up Kang Dynasty really. Exactly. That's my understanding of it.
And what about shows that
I've been wrong before?
One of my concerns with Disney Plus shows was that they would start introducing characters that no one cares about. Like they created a show. Let's say they create the Hawkeye show, and based on the like Echo, like they create shows that no one asked for. I don't want to see Echo. Agatha will be cool, but not as an entire show. Maybe as like in a deleted scene or like a one-off, like Werewolf by Night. But like they're creating shows about characters in movies, and I just feel like Echo was one of those shows. No one cares about Echo, and if anyone in chat says they do, you're lying.
I'm fine with that. They've made a streaming platform. They have to put out content. Not everything is going to be interconnected and be awesome and lead up to the next movie. That's how these things work. You got to look at it realistically.
You're missing my point, though, Abdo. Like I agree with that. They have a streaming platform and they should put out content. Why does it have to be content in the MCU? Disney owns a plethora.
That's the property they own.
But Disney owns a plethora of other franchises and cartoons and characters and whatever else. Why are they trying to milk Marvel? That's my question.
That's because Marvel's a giant billion-dollar industry. Same thing with Disney. They put. Have you seen every show that's on Disney Plus? I guarantee you, they're putting out tons of other shows you don't care about either. They're just going to put out some of them in different, in the stuff that you do care about. There's some of that's going to be stuff you don't care about too. That's just how it works.
But then you're adding to my point. They only care about money. And that's what the problem.
Only care about money.
Hear me out, Abdo.
They're a mega corporation. That's how they work.
Hear me out, Abdo. And this goes what's into my frustration. It's like it's not just about money. I want good writing. You can make as much money as you want. I promise you, you'll make more money with good writing than you will with bad writing. I promise. That's a promise.
True.
That's a guarantee.
True.
And
that's just not how they work.
And that's my problem. That is my problem. Like I'm tired of them. Like, oh, it's money. Put out a character, Echo. Everyone's gonna watch Echo. It's our first deaf character that we made a show about. And I feel like you can do that, but can it be good? Please, can it be good?
Nice. Right. I want it all to be good. I mean, obviously, I want to be paying attention to this kind of stuff, but expecting corporations not to be solely motivated by money is like. It's just not realistic.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a good point.
They are a big time for-profit company, which is why they bought Marvel. Which is why they bought, all these other subsidiaries under the Disney umbrella, because they're making money from it. I can guarantee you, the moment Marvel stops becoming this big cash cow for them, and they don't see a way to turn around, I guarantee you they'll sell it off.
Yeah, Slayer's got a point. He says people love Transformers. And it does well, and the writing is never there. That's a good point, man.
That is absolutely
Transformers is
true.
Terrible writing. It's just a freaking joke.
All we care about is metal.
They do like Fast and Furious, like terrible as well. Terrible writing.
Those
but
movies are
people
terrible.
love it.
But
if Disney wants to make money and make good products, Faust, that's what we're saying. Is like they don't have to.
They're going
to make money either way.
Look what we're doing.
Because we're fans. Because we're true believers.
Actually, Disney has lost 800.
We want really good quantity, but
Disney has lost 800 million at the box office, so they're not making money right now. That's why if you notice,
they're making money. That's
Ghost Dog. They're not making the money they should be making.
I understand what you're saying, Lefty, but in the end, they're still making money.
Yeah, we have talked about, right, the fact that movie studios purposely make stinkers as tax write-offs too. We have talked about that, right?
Yeah, we talked about that.
They do that.
Second or third episode.
But like they're gonna
that was the one that when Captain Davis hanging out in the pool.
If they're making money, they cut back.
They're gonna purposely lose money on some crappy movies. That's just how it works. That's part of the game for them. But I guarantee you, they haven't lost $800 million this year. That would be ridiculous. They are way like they're making so much profit.
Let's see how much Disney has lost this year.
I mean,
900 million. And I'll estimate that Disney has lost 900 million on the last 8 studio releases. That's what it says.
But that doesn't mean that they've lost money overall.
Right.
That does mean that they lost on the last 8 studio releases.
Things, man.
On the last.
They do more than just movies.
Okay, well let me name the names of the films contributed to the last 8 studios. Lightyear, Thor: Love and Thunder, Strange World. I don't know what that is.
Okay. Lefty, wait, hold on. Before you do this, just quick Google Disney 2023 profits. The Walt Disney Company announced during Wednesday's earnings call that they made approximately $21.8 billion in revenue during the second quarter of 2023.
Okay.
They don't give a shit about $800 or $800 million.
Can I
crappy movies?
Can I finish?
Go ahead.
My thing is that isn't just based on movies though, Abdo, because you got to think
Exactly.
Hear me out. You're missing my point though. Like, think about it, Abdo. If you're making money selling products and Disney parks and whatever else, and you're losing money in a certain area like movies, you're gonna have a problem with that, Abdo. Because, like you said, Disney's a for-profit company, and they don't want to just keep making movies if they're losing money, especially with big names like Wakanda Forever, Ant-Man, Quantumanium, Little Mermaid, and Elemental. Like, you're gonna have a problem if you're losing money on your last 8, and you gotta rely on stuff like products and other things that outside of movies. Like, you have a very good point, and I agree. Disney's probably not losing money. Maybe they're not all that concerned about losing almost $1 billion. But if you continue to on this downward slope of losing money when you release studio movies, that's gonna be a problem. And that's gonna be needs to be addressed.
The thing, Lefty, is like I just said, once it becomes a point that they are losing too much money, they will sell Marvel off.
I don't think they're gonna sell Marvel. I don't think they're gonna do that.
Or
No.
if it continues to keep going downhill, so you're going to tell me you have a stock that you paid $100 for that now at one point got up to $1,000 a share, and now it's falling down to about $300 a share, but you're not going to sell it off before you can keep making money off of it?
It depends on the stock. If it's an Apple stock, no, I'm not gonna sell off because I know Apple's gonna come right back up.
I'm not gonna sell off Disney either. Disney ain't going anywhere.
So you're expecting Marvel to bounce back?
Yes, 100%. Yes, well, with all the big name characters they have and the storylines they have.
So I'm gonna go back to your original comment. That means you have faith and believe that the next few things that are coming out are going to be great.
No. Now, the next few things, no. But before, let me finish though, Ghost Dog. The next few things, no. But once they start tapping into stuff like the mutants and what's the guy's name that eats planets?
Things that will help it. Yes, there'll be things that will help it.
Fantastic Four. They haven't even touched on them guys yet.
But if you keep losing money, that's what I'm talking about. They make enough money now. They can afford $1 billion loss is not going to destroy when their overall makings is almost close to 22 billion.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I agree. You have points.
You got to look at it. You got to look at it like Costco. Costco's never changing the price of those hot dogs. That's called a loss leader. Sometimes they're going to put out stuff that ain't going to be super popular or isn't going to be the best stuff, but they got to put out some kind of content. Because if they put out no content and people are paying a monthly subscription fee, then people are going to cancel it, right?
Yeah.
So they would rather put out some garbage than put out nothing at all. Because even if they lose like a little bit of money in the meantime before some of their bigger stuff comes out, they're going to be doing well overall. So like I have no fear that they're well, I don't care if they make money in general, other than that I want to continue seeing shows be made that I like. But they're there to make money. Yes, if it became such a problem that they weren't going to make any money at all, or they were going to lose like tons and tons of money, then sure, they are going to change their direction how they do things. But in the meantime, like we don't really talk about like the Star Wars, or we haven't so far on this podcast or whatever the heck we're calling this. But the Star Wars movies, those last couple Star Wars, they were like hot. They were terrible, man. They were absolutely terrible. And they made $1 billion at the box office just on the name. Marvel's going to do similar stuff. That's how it works, you know? So even if they're putting out total garbage, like they can't just continue to put out total garbage forever, but having a bunch of misses in a row or like some here, like, it's not that big a deal.
Actually, well, maybe they will, and maybe 900 million isn't a lot to Disney because they made 21 billion, I guess. But when you're losing subscribers, it also said
quarter.
Disney said
that was not.
You said second quarter.
That was 1 quarter.
Yeah, and I agree. And for the first 3 months of this year, Disney Plus has lost 4 million subscribers.
Yeah, I've seen that.
4 million.
They're getting ready. Again, they're getting ready to pull some content.
Yeah.
Where do we get that? Where do we get that number from? Because as far as I know, none of the streaming services announce their subscribers.
I just Googled it.
Forbes record decline. Why Disney Plus lost another 4 million?
Okay. So I do think bad movies and bad TV shows is affecting their end game. Like they made 21 billion, and more power to them. But I promise you that didn't come from movies. The movies may have contributed to it, but that didn't come from movies. That came from the products and their parks and stuff, in my opinion. So I'm just like,
I don't know about that.
What do you think it came from? I'm curious.
Well, it comes from everything, right? Because I was looking at the total amounts, but I don't think that they're Marvel, or I don't think I don't think Marvel Studios has lost money really this year.
I mean, if Disney,
as far as I know.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I didn't Google that part, but you probably have a point. But I'm looking at Disney as a whole. Like, they're losing money, and 900 million may seem like a speck compared to the 21 billion they made. But the fact that they're still losing money on studio movies is a problem. And it's not even just Marvel movies; it's big name movies too. So, what do you think, Captain Bay and River? River, you over? River, can you take a moment, River, and stop doing that, please? We would like your opinion on some things.
She's gonna do what she's gonna do.
Where's Zoe at, Abdo?
Oh, she's like, I was just shooing her away because she was bothering me for more treats, and she's now gone live. She's laid down now. I was like, I got the code out she hates. I was like, I threatened her with it. Like you guys are watching on the stream, you can see me like shooing her away, and now she's laying down over by the couch. She's passed out, but it's like, no, I already gave her treats. She's fine. So, as far as opinions too, she doesn't give a crap. No, so looking at Marvel Studios here. Many have recently been quick to say that MCU is on the decline, but comparing 2022's MCU box office totals to 2017, which was the last pre-pandemic year with no Avengers blockbuster, the total box office for both sits around 2.6 billion, while last year significantly exceeded 2017 in profit with 646 million compared to 529 million. So that was for last year, not this year. But they're that 2022, what? They had a lot of crappy movies, man.
They did. They definitely did, though.
They're fine. They're just gonna keep pumping out content, man. If it gets real bad, and then like if it gets to the point where people like us are gonna cancel our Disney Plus subscriptions, then they're in some serious shit. But
yeah, if the diehards give up, then that's when they're gonna start.
Well, but pretty soon they're not gonna put out anything.
The main point here, that's going to be a huge issue. The main point is we just want better writing and better quality.
I agree,
because we care about this stuff.
I agree.
And it, like however they got to get that done, they need to, like I said, corporate greed. We're in late stage capitalism. I don't know any things you want to talk about outside of that. Like, but there's backlash against Disney because of culture wars kind of stuff and all that stuff too. But that affects all of that. But it's like there's some things that are unavoidable. For the most part, though, I just want good TV shows to watch. And in the meantime, if I'm not getting a bunch of A content all the time, like, I'll suffer through some D content sometimes and just be like, it wasn't that good, but I watched it.
Also, I want to read something real quick. So record decline of 4 million was due to the fact that in their Indian market, they lost one of their like subscriptions where you could watch the Premier League on, which then caused, India has a lot of people in it, right?
Yeah.
So if you cancel something, that's a highly watched thing off your streaming platform, they're probably going to go to wherever it went to, right? So that's probably going to be a good record number of why they lost so many in the last quarter.
Like Mike said, I've loved Doritos for years, but if in the last 5 years they changed their flavor to fish-based soggy nachos, I'm not giving them my money.
Good point.
Yes, I agree. Doctor Strange made 650. Thor made 100 million. Yeah, but that's so Ernie, are those compared to what do they spend on it? You know what I mean? Is that actual profit, or is that just what it made the box office and then you got to subtract what they actually spent on it? Either way, the point is they're making money. All right. We've spent a lot of time talking about this. Do we want to do like a final wrap up of our thoughts on Secret Invasion and then move on to some other stuff real quick, or what?
Yeah, we can wrap it. We kind of did. Well, so let's move on to. Have you saw the new trailer for Saw X?
I didn't get a chance to watch it. I was out.
But,
I don't care for scary movies, so I'm not interested in seeing that movie.
I watched the trailer. I'm not gonna be interested to see the movie. I'm not a scary movie guy either.
I just feel like the thing that we're running into when it comes to movies, they feel the need to make sequels to everything, and they keep making. I can't tell. I seen the trailer.
No new ideals. There's no new ideals for movies. It's just like,
that's why I love Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan's putting out content that is new and fresh. But I feel like I could have swore that Jigsaw died in movie 3, Saw 3. And now he's back, and apparently this is a sequel, prequel. I don't know, because I couldn't tell based on the trailer. But I feel like I'm getting tired of these super sequels. Everything is a super sequel nowadays.
So we're apparently not the best people to help talk with you about this, because None of us are huge horror movie fans. Like, I like some stuff that's done in horror movies. I think there's a lot of creative stuff that goes on there, but in general, they're not my thing either. They're my jam. I will say though, doesn't like Freddy or Jason or those guys, don't they die in every single A Nightmare on Elm Street movie? Don't they die at every single, like Mike Myers dies every time or whatever like that? So like, that doesn't bother me. That's like,
they do die, but
that's expected for horror movies.
Jason and Freddy, they're supernatural beings. Jigsaw isn't. Jigsaw's a human being.
Oh, okay.
So,
I didn't know. So,
but I wanted to talk about Adam Eve, but I don't think Captain Bay has seen it yet. So if you don't want Captain Bay,
no.
Honestly, we can talk about it. Bay, I mean, how are you like? Oh my God, this is something I gotta watch, and I don't want to be spoiled by it.
I don't care. We can talk about
so
it.
let's
I was probably gonna watch it tonight. Honestly.
Okay, well, hold on. Let me start recording before. Get your game faces on. I need everyone's game faces on. Captain Bay, you can just sit there. All right, so let's talk about Adam Eve. I seen it and I thought it was really good. Captain Bay, you cool? You cool? Everything all right over there?
What? Yeah, sorry.
Overall,
for a second, just froze on a weird.
Overall, it was good to me. I think they stayed true to the source material and it didn't drop in quality. It was nice to see a lot of the characters from the Invincible series come back and actually play a role in it. And I wasn't let down. I was very much impressed with Adam Eve. I actually want to see it one more time. So I think they did a good job. What did y'all guys think of it? Ghost Talk?
Ghost Talk, go.
Me? Okay. I was surprised to find it. I was actually looking at the trailer for Invincible and it's like, oh, what is this? Is this more trailer? And ended up clicking on it, and it was a show about Adam Eve and her, her overall, like how she became who she was. She was born with her powers, what the doctors did to her. Talked about her parents, who she found out weren't her biological parents, and just all the what she was going through and dealing with, even with her own quote unquote parents. Just growing up as an individual they just didn't know what was going on. So I enjoyed the show for what it was. It didn't really add anything or take anything away from the Invincible series for me, but it was a solid show.
I agree. Overall, I think I'll give it 9 out of 10. I thought I was very entertained by it.
I think I come down where Ghost Dog did. I'd say give it like a 7 or an 8 probably.
I don't think
it's 8. I think it's just like it was nice, solid, but it's kind of how we were talking a little bit about other, MCU stuff where connectivity and that kind of stuff. For me, this was just like a little one-off, tied me over till second season of Invincible comes out. Like, you don't got to watch it. It was fun. It's good little origin story for her, backstory. I didn't change anything. It wasn't horrible. It didn't ruin anything for me. It's like, it's fun. I watched it. It's cool. The more interesting thing for me was whatever the heck my Amazon Fire TV is doing and how it's connected, because I swear, I know when you talk about stuff, it feels like they try to sell you ads for different stuff. But in the line chat, Ghost Dog mentioned that Adam Eve had come out, right? Or whatever. And I was like, had asked if I'd heard about it. And then the next time I go to watch the TV in my bedroom, which has the Amazon Fire stuff, it comes up and it says, Adam Eve, continue watching. Like, continue watching. Was I drunk? Did I click on this the other night when I didn't realize it? And we're like, no. Like, you literally just mentioned it in line, which, as far as I know, has no connections to Google or Amazon or anything else. You just mentioned it on my iPhone, I guess, online. And then I go and it's on my TV and it says continue watching. I was like, that was much more interesting to me than the actual episode was. So I was like, damn.
It's crazy how they do that targeted stuff. Because legit on the ride down to this trip I just was at, the conversation came up that I don't know if you guys know this, but there is a professional cornhole league.
No.
We talked about that.
It's like
I open up Instagram 10 minutes later. I get an ad promoting the professional cornhole league. I'm like,
our products are definitely listening.
So everyone who's listening to this right now, you're welcome for that.
You're welcome. Yeah.
You're not gonna get ads for cornhole.
You know who to blame.
Yeah, mine was we've been talking about hiring movers to move our stuff to our new house, and every second or third ad that if I'm inside any of my social medias will present me movers. I'm like, interesting.
And
No,
yeah, it's
that's
funny.
what I get, like,
It's funny y'all mention that because it doesn't happen to me. Like I'll mention whatever I want. Like I've mentioned that I want the Rodecaster Pro soundboard. I don't get any ads for it though. No matter where I go, like it's
they're
weird.
not spending enough then apparently.
If I'll say maybe my products don't like me, or don't listen to me, but I'll say we're not paying attention to Lefty. But overall, I think Adam, I liked the show, and I'm excited about the new season of Invincible. But I feel like my biggest complaint about Amazon, and I think other shows do this, they wait literally years between seasons, and half the times you forget what happens in the previous season because of how long it takes to release the next season. So
yeah, I just went and rewatched the first season of Invincible to refresh myself before I start season 2 now.
Yeah, this is it's annoying.
Now I'm just confused because I'm like, how much of that has to do with COVID? How much it's going to be writer's strike, an actor's strike? How much there's so much stuff going on where I'm like, just give me my shows, man. I just want to watch my shows. And the only thing that they just seem to consistently pump out with no problems is just like reality TV, and I hate that garbage. And I understand that's all written too, so but still, like it just it's very confusing how long stuff takes in between.
Yeah, but
I do so I really liked Invincible. It is taking a long time. I did see the latest trailer that we talked about a little bit, I think, and just how many actors are going to be in it, how many like are doing voice appearances and stuff, and it's a lot of people. Like it's a lot of people. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And yeah, as far as like Adam Eve, they had like a bunch of people in there too. It's got to be. Could you imagine if that was your job? You just go and you're just right here, and you have like slightly better sound recording equipment, and you get paid to just say some lines and stuff and pretend like you're like, dude, that'd be a great job.
That would be. Overall, though,
that'd be excellent.
Adam Eve, great show, and I can't wait for season 2 of Invincible. Okay, the recording's done. I'm about to say the recording's done. Now we can talk about however we want. Went on a tangent there, but I'm gonna leave it in the video. I'm gonna definitely leave it in the video. We definitely went on a tangent about our product listening to us, but that's probably what makes.
Edit stuff.
No, I'm not. I actually think that's good because it shows, we don't just talk about one topic. We branch off and talk about a lot.
More?
Yeah, the and I didn't put and more in today's stream.
He didn't do the and more. Hey, Stephanie.
No, but I feel like the WTF covers the and more in general.
Ghost Dog told me to put it in there. This WTF, like, because I can't lie. It's a lot going on with these. I feel like the writer's strike is. I'm waiting for the writer's strike to really affect movies and TV shows. I want to see
when they don't come out when they're supposed to, then that's when they start.
Yeah, I want to see because I feel like this writer's strike might go on for a while because it's not really.
Did anybody ever like?
It's not really affecting anything.
Did you ever watch like Heroes back in the day?
I watched a little bit, but it went down in quality every season, and I wasn't a fan of that.
I think that one was affected by the original writer's strike.
That was.
And that's what happened with that show.
Because the first season of Heroes, I feel like was a phenomenon where I was going over to somebody's house to watch it every time. We were like, "Ooh, wait for me and let's go," and it was a cool thing. And the writer's strike happened, and you're like, "Oh my god, this is garbage! What just destroyed the show completely?" Like it might have gone downhill and been complete garbage, anyways.
I think it killed. Yeah, I think the writer's strike for that show, for the popularity of that show, was.
But that was the first. Yeah, that was the first thing, and dude, that was. So they need to get this stuff done with, and there's no way that the general public isn't obviously going to come down on the side of the writers and like you could be anti-union or whatever and you'd still be like no like I'm pro writers and pro actors in this situation just because I want my damn content back. Did
you know there's a name for people? Like apparently what studios are doing, they're going to like YouTubers or TikTokers and like offer them money to make shows, and apparently if you do that you're called a scab.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
You go from being
across the picket line.
Yeah, you basically cross. It's basically like when the NFL had their stoppage back in the 80s, and then people crossed over. They were picking up replacement players to play the games,
which led to a good, funny Keanu Reeves movie. So
yeah. So let me ask you all this: since y'all want to bash scab, let's say Disney came to you, offered you each of you $100 million to make a show, $100 million. But would you do it?
Give me a realistic number. $100 million.
No,
I would do virtually anything for $100 million. I will murder. Come there.
You said, do you have to? Captain Baby, did you say
all three of you?
Did you say? Did you? Would you? Do I have to get?
I'll do it for 100. Not that I'll do the show for 100, not the other one.
You do only $100? You $100 to make a show?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
But I'm just saying, like, what if a studio came to you and asked you if you wanted to make a show? Like, would you be in? Like
Hey,
not
man,
that's, I'm not
if the
gonna
show had to
say
line up with
I'm not
us.
gonna say a price because I don't know how much they're offering to make a show, but clearly they wanted you to write a show or act in the show. Would you do it like during the writer's strike? Would you do it?
No, I wouldn't. I'm
Oh,
like
during the writer's strike? No.
Yeah, like I'm talking about right now, Captain. Like if they came to you right now,
okay,
like
gotcha.
we want you and River to be in the show.
No.
No,
Let's talk.
I'm a man of the people. There's no way I'm going against the unions on that stuff.
I'm not gonna
I
try to
mean,
go against Hollywood right now. That's
Yeah.
not a good idea.
I mean,
Yeah.
and it's
just
funny.
in general, my dad was in a teachers union forever. My mom worked at a grocery store. She's in union forever. I grew up like there's just no way I would be crossing the picket line. That's for sure.
Mhm.
I've protested, I've marched, I have done that kind of stuff. That just wouldn't be it. Like I said, for like $100 million, sure, yeah, fuck them. But like that's just ridiculous. That's like life changing.
That's life changing. That's life changing. I never have to work again, and my kids never.
No,
have
I
to work
moved to a
again,
different
and their
country and
kids
don't have to deal with any of the consequences.
Yeah,
No, screw that shit. But in general, on principle, no, I wouldn't. Not at all. No.
Yeah, Buster, because one of the people that was talking about, like, people becoming scared, because someone on TikTok has done that. They got offered money from a studio and they said yes and are working on a TV show. And they said, if you do that, you got to think once the union or once the strike is over, people that were on strike, they aren't going to want to work with you because you weren't supporting them during the strike. So
right.
I understand that. And if they offer me money, I will automatically say no because one, I have a job, so I don't need your money. But two, I'm on the side of the writers and the actors. Like, they need to be paid fun money. Like, I was looking at writers. Some of them can't even afford groceries or meals because they're not getting paid enough. It's like how you write a script for a multi-billion-dollar movie or $1 million movie and don't get paid accordingly. That's not fair.
Well, that's why like Disney dropping certain TV shows that you could only get exclusive to Disney, but they're just dropping them so that they don't get any residuals. And it's not like the writers were getting a crazy amount of money with the residuals anyways,
Yeah, that's just not fair.
No. So I'm fully on side of the writers and the actors, and it's just a very dumb and greedy move to go up against some of the most popular people in the world who get paid to talk to the public or whatever as a profession. Like that's not going to go well. And it just in the meantime, it just hurts all of us consumers and those people who are on strike. And we all know how it's going to end up anyways. So it's just like, no.
Yeah, it's already started to affect shows like the Jimmy Fallon show, the Jimmy Kimmel show, shows like that. It's already affected because I haven't seen a new episode of Jimmy Fallon in months now. So I'm waiting for like the new shows and the new movies to be affected. I think that might take effect next year maybe because one of my movies that already got delayed indefinitely, guess what it is? Out of the Spider-Verse has been delayed indefinitely.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's kind of sad because that's a movie. Across the Spider-Verse ended on a cliffhanger where it needed to be continued, and now we don't even know when it's going to be continued. So it's already affecting some of my favorite movies.
I heard already that director was driving all those animators and stuff like to the brink, anyways. Like he's apparently like a really, really tough guy to work for in general. So yeah, that's going to be a while, unfortunately.
Yeah, 100 artists for Across the Spider-Verse have already quit. 100. I didn't even know 100.
Headbanger back here.
Yeah, but I'll say I didn't even know what is River doing over there. River,
You're clicking yourself.
But yeah, 100 artists already quit for Out of the Spider-Verse. So things it's looking interesting because I don't know what to expect.
We're gonna be doing reviews on old movies pretty soon. So
yeah,
we're gonna run out of new
I'm thinking
content.
about doing something like that too, Abby.
Yeah, I actually wanted to do that with you. Like, we can do a movie. Matter of fact, I wanted to do a sequel tier list to see like some of the best sequels to originals because apparently, according to Abdo, there are no good sequels. Abdo said it.
No, that's not true. I said Terminator 2 is better than Terminator.
So one out of the entire history of movies.
We can go Star Wars. I mean,
Which Star
Wars?
Empire
is better, I think, than the original. I think the Aliens is better than Alien, even though they're different types of movies. Like, so there's situations where they are. It's just in general, sequels are usually not as good as the original. So
okay, and as long as you cleared it up, because I was about to say, Abdo, we lost you on the call, but we can get you up next week. I'm just playing. You're still here though, but yeah.
Stephanie, with us being real quick, Stephanie said we should watch a movie on the channel. With us being people that are on YouTube, watching a movie on this channel would be something we wouldn't be able to do. We would have to do it like I know Abby does it on Discord when he's watching Rebels.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which we're actually not going to do going forward. we're just out of time. Cap, I was gonna talk to you about that. Like, my plan for that, for anybody who's curious, I'm gonna watch season 2, season 3, season 4 like each week, and then just meet up and talk about it on Sunday, I think, or something like that. So if you want to talk about that over on my channel or something, you guys are more than welcome to. I don't know. Do you guys like Star Wars that much? I know Cap does, but I don't know if you guys do as much.
I was a big fan of 4, 5, and 6. 1, I thought could have been done a little bit better, but then 2 and 3, I was on board for, and then 7, 8, 9 came out, and I watched them. They were okay. They weren't great. They were okay. And then I enjoyed Rogue One. But then most stuff after that, like I didn't Han Solo. No, I didn't watch that one. And,
Solo's okay.
Solo was
It wasn't that good to me.
I couldn't get into it. And then I did watch. I watched one.
I like Childish Gambino.
Donald Glover. Yeah, Donald Glover.
I love him in almost anything. Honestly, I gotta watch Atlanta at some point.
Yeah, that was a great show. I love that show. But for me, I'm more of a casual Star Wars fan. I haven't watched the shows that came out after what's that movie? The show, forgot his name. Obi-Wan. Every show that came after that, I haven't watched because Obi-Wan wasn't.
Just Andor after that.
Yeah, Obi-Wan. Okay, well I can. Oh, Mando too, right?
Mando.
Oh, that's true. Mando's
I haven't watched Mando because
those were good.
But I watched Boba Fett. I haven't watched Mando or Andor because Obi-Wan to me was terrible. They didn't try to make that a good show, and I felt like they phoned that in.
I didn't hate it, but it just wasn't. I agree that was not the best one. So Andor though was my favorite show of last year, which I've said before and stuff.
Yeah, and that's the one where I disagree with Abdo. Like for me, it was slow.
Right.
But I get it. It was a very good story.
Yeah.
I'll watch it. I just haven't yet.
I get that criticism too. But did you watch the trailer for Ahsoka?
I'm going to see that. I'm going to watch that. I want to see that. We can watch the trailer on stream if you want.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, why don't we just watch it? Because
we'll watch the trailer.
Up until you get monetized.
Yeah, I can do it.
Take down.
No, they can't. They can't. I watched other trailers on stream and they haven't taken it down.
Like we could just watch a movie until you get monetized.
Soko.
Right.
Yeah.
It's AH. Yeah. SOKA.
Okay.
Mike Middleton. That is not a movie.
We'll watch the trailer.
Or a TV show at all.
Here's the trailer for
and some backstory on that.
Here's a trailer on Ahsoka. We're gonna watch it right now.
Okay, yeah, take us down and put that up.
One must destroy in order to create. We are no.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. That's
I started hearing whispers of Thrawn's return as heir to the Empire.
What happens when we find Thrawn?
Power, such as you've never dreamed.
I've spent most of my life fighting a war. That's why I'm trying to convince you to help me prevent another one. You and I both know who could help you with this.
She's still just as stubborn as ever.
I bet your master found you difficult at times.
Anakin never got to finish my training. I walked away from him, just like I walked away from Sabine. You never made things easy for me, Master.
As a Jedi, sometimes you have to make the decision no one else can. But I'm counting on you to see this through.
Nice haircut. Sometimes we have to do what's right, regardless of our personal feelings.
Buckle up.
If we don't stop Thrawn, everything will be in vain. You have no power.
Anakin spoke highly of you.
I'm not here to discuss my past.
We have a lot of work to do.
Once a rebel, always a rebel.
That looks good. What do you guys think? I'm hoping you don't have to watch other shows to really enjoy it.
No, I think there might be a few tie-ins to some of the other episodes that if you hadn't watched like episode 3 or some of the Mandalorian.
Yeah, it looks good to me.
That's what we're talking about. But like, I hope that it'll be totally enjoyable for everyone, you know, without having to know that backstory. But
Right.
basically, the Star Wars Rebels cartoon show is all of the backstory that
direct
you would need
sequel
for this
to-
show.
yeah. All
Yeah,
the
this
characters
is
you see in that trailer, for the most part, are in the Rebels show. And obviously, if you don't know Ahsoka's background from Clone Wars, you're going to be a little confused of who this Ahsoka character is in general. But
So
from her in the trailer, they show her. They mention Anakin by name, so you get that instantly, like, oh, they're gonna let everybody know in the show at least that she was she was Anakin's Padawan essentially. So that I feel like them throwing that line in there is for those people that haven't watched these other shows, so that they get an idea of like who this character is supposed to be. So my hope is that they do a little bit of that background, because like it is, yeah. Because how many I have so many people I've said watch the Clone Wars and Rebels, and they're just like, I don't want to watch a cartoon show and blah blah blah. I'm just like, but it's so good and so important as character, and because of those shows, Ahsoka is my favorite Star Wars character, like in all of Star Wars.
Over Cassidy, over Bane Cassidy.
I'm hoping.
I don't even know who that is.
No, that's not the guy that was in Mando. That was a cowboy with blue skin.
Oh no, those are different. Yeah, that's different.
Different species.
Different alien.
Different alien, different character altogether.
No, so Thrawn
Cad
is
Bane's amazing though.
Yeah.
So basically what happened is before George Lucas did the prequel trilogy, all you had was the extended Star Wars universe, which was just all books and stuff, right? So basically, before that stuff happened in the books and the extended universe, the main bad guy after the Emperor was Thrawn, who is being shown there and they reference it because the books were called the Heir to the Empire series, and that's why they say in the trailer he came back as Heir to the Empire. That's a reference to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they also then had him in Star Wars Rebels on the last season or the last 2 seasons,
and he was the main antagonist ending off.
He kind of, but that show ends with him kind of getting taken away by some space whales. It's complicated. But
and we get a reference to in Mandalorian season 3, spoilers.
Yeah, that's what that, anyway, so that's why we've been trying to do the rewatch. And I was hoping that, like, say with Andor, they said it was going to come out in like August, and it ended up not coming out until September. And Captain and I had talked about this, and we just kind of got behind on it. So I don't actually have time to watch all of the episodes on stream going forward to catch up. So that's why I'm just like, okay, there's 22 episodes. They're like 22 minutes long. They're not that long.
Everyone do your homework.
Yeah, that's basically it. Is I'm just gonna say watch all of season 2 for this week, and then on Sunday I'm gonna meet up, and on my stream, like, I'll just do some incursions or something in the background.
We'll do a pop quiz on the episode.
Yeah,
so
there'll be polls, there'll be questions. But yeah, so we'll do all that, and then we'll just talk about that the second season, because we did watch the first season on stream. And then the second season we'll just talk about this coming Sunday, and the third season after that, and the fourth season after that, and then the show will be out on the 23rd. So that's basically my plan. I figured that was going to be the best way to do it going forward, because otherwise I'd have to do like 5 or 6 streams a week of a couple hours a piece every night just to get caught up on that. And that's, I don't have time for that. So I got other things to do with my life, but I can certainly grind arena and sit back and watch the episodes on my own, as I assume everyone else can. It's really fun to watch stuff with people that way on Discord, but it's also, like 5 to 9 people watching. It's not as many people, and that really does screw with your numbers on the algorithm and stuff too. So, so that's the plan going forward. So if you want to know more about it, just watch Rebels and get caught up. Rebels it's I think all of the Star Wars shows we've talked about a little bit with both Clone Wars and Rebels and so forth. And I think the other one, I didn't watch the other one. What was the Cap? I don't know. Did you watch it?
Resistance? I haven't watched that one, no.
No, but all the shows kind of start out more kiddie for the first couple of seasons, or the first beginning of it, and then they age up as the audience ages up, and they get more mature and like people start dying and things start happening as they age up, as the shows go on. So,
Yeah.
but Rebels is great. The final season of the Clone Wars could be a movie. It's spectacular. It looks so good, and it's just well written. I mean, it's just awesome. So yeah. Slayer, you met the Ahsoka voice actress, Ashley Eckstein, I believe. Yeah, she does seem like she's awesome. So coming up, that's going to be Rosario Dawson playing her. I love Rosario Dawson.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. I would definitely date her. Actually, Ernie asked, "Are you guys going to do Twisted Metal?" Actually, I might watch that show. To be honest, it doesn't really look good to me, but
I don't know about that one. Is that?
I don't know anything about that.
Is that based off the old school video game?
Yeah, it is. It's on Peacock, and I have Peacock, so I do want to watch it.
Peacock is I just don't pay for. I got enough subscriptions I'm paying for.
I will watch it.
I had Paramount Plus for a while too, and I'm like, it was free.
I'm gonna just say it. There's too many subscriptions. I kind of miss cable. Like everything has a subscription now. Everything has a subscription now. I miss cable when we got everything, and you can just do it that way. The cost
is getting up there just exactly the same if you have enough of them. So
right. So it's just like I don't know, but Peacock is free to me. If you guys want me to watch it, I will. I'm actually surprised that my chat didn't even ask me to watch the Barbie movie, which I'm surprised.
No.
I don't plan on watching it.
It's really good.
I heard it's great.
I'm gonna see it at some point. I'm
going to see it too. I'm gonna wait till it gets on streaming services, but I don't plan on going to the movies to see it.
I hear it's funny, like in a South Park kind of way funny. So, and I have the Regal Movie Pass. Again, just another subscription, stupid ass thing. So I need to make good use of it. Otherwise, it gets whatever. Barbie's great. Yeah, that's what I hear.
Slayer said Barbie's great. He has really high reviews of the movie, so I'm probably going to check it out. It's just some of the reviews I heard about it weren't really good, but it didn't make sense why they weren't good. They said the Ken seemed like an idiot, and I'm just like, there have been plenty of movies where women were made right, and it's like there have been plenty of movies where women were made out to be like unable to survive without men. So I feel like you can't criticize right. You can't criticize Barbie for that, because so I don't accept that as a criticism. Like if men are idiots in a movie about a Barbie doll, I'm okay with it. Like it doesn't bother me. It's like, what other criticisms do you have besides that? So
they should all be idiots. It's Barbie. I don't know. I'm definitely gonna see it at some point. So but yeah, if you want to get caught up and check out Rebels or come in for that discussion and stuff, I would highly recommend Rebels. So
I mean, if y'all, if you and Captain Bay are watching it and y'all want to discuss it on this channel or your channel, absolutely, I would definitely be in. Like Abdo, if you ever plan on putting content on your second channel, I don't know if you do, but I would happily be on there. Like
I gotta beat you in subscribers first, but then
you probably will though. Sooner or later, you probably will. But
I think my first thing though, what I got to do is, because I have to do an actual review, like an actual movie review. That's the first thing I want to do. So I think what I'm going to do is go back and do what I've always said whenever asked of my favorite movie of all time. I always said The Usual Suspects. So I think I got to do a review of The Usual Suspects. Like, does it still stand up? Does it still hold up? So I think that'll have to be like the first thing that I actually put out. But that's going to be a lot of editing and a lot of work. So
yeah, but I'll say this channel is actually requiring a lot of my time, but to be honest, there's nothing really going on in MCOC right now. Like I have no content to put out on that channel. It's really bad. I'm actually starting to think about switching to Fortnite because there's nothing to do in the game right now. Like I've seen Legacy
without Battlegrounds, it just sucks.
Without Battlegrounds in War, like Legacy today put out a video on Labyrinth beating Seaton's record with Hercules, and I'm just like, if Legacy has to put out content on Labyrinth, maybe I should be playing a different game, because there's nothing going on in MCOC.
Old Karina's challenges I haven't finished. I'm just
like, I haven't touched I haven't touched some of those.
There's nothing.
I still have to do.
Volume 1 and Volume 2 are not on my list.
Right, like me.
So Sunday, next Sunday, I'll just do that on. We can do other stuff here. We can talk about it here too, but or we can do Ahsoka here if you want to in the future. If you're gonna get.
Hey, I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna watch Ahsoka. I'm gonna be watching that.
For the next 3 Sundays, I think at least I'll do just a discussion of Rebels season 2, season 3, season 4, and leading up to Ahsoka. And then after that, my Sundays are shot because I got season tickets.
Yeah, Sundays we're probably going to be changing our stream time. Lefty and I were kind of just talking about that earlier on, like before everybody joined.
Yeah.
Like, when football season get ready to start up, we probably need to change our stream time.
Yeah.
We're all going to be.
Or the day, maybe.
I think all 4 of us are football fans, so
it might have to be Saturday, to be honest. It might have to be Saturday.
It depends on what time Saturday. Saturdays are a little rough for me.
Maybe Saturday evening. Well, maybe Saturday
part of the day.
Maybe Saturday midday, like from 4 to 7.
Yeah, that may not work for me.
Okay. Ghost Dog Lefty, you guys aren't planning on going to Vancouver, right?
I am.
No. He is. I'm
Lefty,
not.
you are?
Yeah, I'm planning on going. Yeah.
Oh hell yeah! Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, I'll talk to you more about that online stuff too. Cap and I need to talk about that and stuff too. But so the thing is, that's Friday and Saturday night, and then I have tickets for the Seahawks game on Sunday, and so I'm trying to convince Cap he should fly into Seattle, take the train up with me to Vancouver, and take the train back Sunday morning, and then we can just go straight from the station to the game because they're literally next door. But I'm trying to convince like Lags or someone else to come down for that too. But I don't know. We'll talk more about that off stream and stuff. But
Lefty, why didn't you stream
cool. I didn't know
Fortnite?
you're going. Sweet.
Yeah, I can get my ticket later in August, but I will be going. Lefty, why didn't you stream Fortnite Friday? Oh, because it was storming, and I didn't want to lose power again. And I was online, hoping that the storm will go away, but it was still a little bit bad. But I don't know. I might actually need to stream that more, like, because this week on MCOC, there's nothing going on. I don't feel like doing arena.
We could try to do an incursions if you want.
We can try to do that. We can definitely try to do that. Yeah.
Well, Wednesday, I think I get off a little early, so we could sneak it in Wednesday.
Yeah, we can do that. I'm actually thinking about playing Fortnite more, because I don't know what's going on with MCOC right now, but it's not where it needs to be.
I was trying to get a response from someone who knew, but is this 2-week break specifically because seeding is going to come out with next season? Is that why it's 2 weeks?
I don't know.
Because I was trying to get like Lag's attention on Brian's stream last night, and I couldn't figure it out. But like that's what, because normally it's just a 1 week break, right? So having a 2 week break is like why do we have 2 weeks? But I thought they're going to be doing the seeding where if we're ended in the Gladiator Circuit, we're gonna end up starting in the Gladiator Circuit again, right? I don't know if that change comes season 10 or not.
Season 9 is like a bad season to do that on, because they allowed Conqueror accounts and uncollected accounts to be part of the Battlegrounds group.
So I don't know if that's what the plan is. I just don't know why else there's the 2 week break. So later, Jeff, have a good one. Talk to you. I'll be on live. I'll probably be live at like 7:30 as normal, doing
actually
some kind of garbage.
I would prefer if you didn't promote your own stream in my stream. Thank you. I'm joking.
Well, Jeff,
I'm just joking with you.
No, you know what? Now, damn it! Now I'm dropping a link to my second channel. Goddamn it!
Oh wow!
Petty. Here we go. All right, if you get more subs than me, then you got to stream on that channel. Then you got to stream on the channel.
Every time I've mentioned it though, every time I've said anything on stream, I'm like, yeah, I made a second channel just to spite Lefty because he started an hour earlier than I wanted him to because I was getting a massage. But every time I do it, I drop a link to your channel first, just so you know.
I
sent $5 over to Brian on his stream just so I could promote your channel, and it confused him very greatly.
But yeah, y'all guys can drop your links in chat. Special thanks to Captain Bay, GhostStar54, and Abdo, Actoxicated Gamer on YouTube. Those guys are great. I pretty appreciate your input, and I would love to continue doing this with y'all. Like, I think giving insight and discussing things is nice. It's just, I don't know if much is going on in the entertainment industry right now.
Next week?
What are we thinking for next week?
I mean, there are no new movies coming out. We still need to discuss Oppenheimer. That's something we can discuss.
God, I gotta go see that.
I haven't seen it yesterday. I've been kind of lazy. I've been just pushing it off. I'm looking at what's coming out. Blue Beetle. No, there's nothing. August 2nd. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles come out.
Blue Beetle looks like such total garbage.
Okay, Gran Turismo comes out. The Meg comes out.
The Meg looks like good garbage. That looks like terrible. That looks like Fast and Furious bad.
Yeah, but I'll say like
looks worse than that.
Those are the only movies coming out this week. So, and there are no shows to watch. So I don't know if we have a lot to talk about, but knowing us, we can pretty much figure out. We'll figure out something to talk about, or we're not only just discussing movies. You can also we can also discuss like current events and technology. So don't feel like you're limited in discussing only movies or TV shows or video games.
Yeah, I should be free next Sunday to talk something. So we'll figure out some stuff off stream, I guess, and we can discuss it. But yeah, dude, this is fun. This is always fun.
Yeah, I had a good time.
Anybody there who's not already subscribed to my second channel, please do subscribe to that and unsubscribe from Lefty. No kidding. I need more subscribers with no content as a joke. I need it.
It'd be fun if you got, because your boy, what's his name? Hussein Owada. He loves loves pitting us against each other. That's why Abdo has better content on his channel, on his second channel, than your main channel. I'm just like, he doesn't have any content on there. Are you saying my content's so bad that it's no content's better than? He loves pitting us.
Some people are just hilarious, man. I love it. I don't know. See, like that's the good kind of trolling, you know. That's good. That's good stuff. I had someone pop in. I just banned the words Trump and Biden on my main channel because I wasn't thinking about it, because that was the end of the stream last night. Was some guy just pops in, he made 3 different accounts. I had subscribers only mode on with like 5 minutes, right? So he makes 3 different accounts to like the first one he comes in and says we all love Trump, we all support him, and he does it twice in a row, so it's a copied message. I'm like, dude, you waited 5 minutes. Like, okay, well, I always say no religion, no politics on my channel, so you're banned later. Like 2 minutes later, he comes back with a different account, says the exact same thing. I'm like, okay, I guess you're having fun, man. Get out of here. And then right after that, he's like, you're a narcissistic loser, and spams it like 4 times. Like, okay, you say everybody supports Trump, and I'm a narcissistic oh my God. Okay, well.
Oh, and
are you in a Russian troll farm? Are you trying to like? It cracks me up sometimes that people just like, I'm like, please. I know we don't have a life because we're sitting around talking about shows and kind of stuff, but we got a little more life than that.
Another level.
Right. Yeah. And actually, Slayer, I think Slayer asked to be on call. I don't have a problem having you on, Slayer. I don't know if you want to be on camera though. That's the only thing. So
yeah, we can have like a little Slayer off camera thing. I mean, he could still. I always thought like I don't have the setup where I like where the streams sometimes are podcasts where it just shows when someone is talking and outlines them and as like a little icon. So those are kind of fun too, because if we could set that up so that if we do watch a trailer or that kind of thing, or if there's something we wanted to talk over, then you know what I mean? You could
well, the thing is,
so that
making them like including in our videos that I release on this channel, it'll be hard because I'm also gonna be trying to show something in the background and they're not gonna be able to be seen. Like when I go to like watch clips on my channel, I don't actually see y'all. I only see the video on the stream, only sees the video. So I'm trying to figure out how we can actually show our reactions to genuine trailers while the trailer's being played to the chat. True, yeah. So I'm still trying to figure out how to work OBS because I'm not streaming. I'm not on Streamlabs. Like I have a suit. I've seen your suit. I mean, I'm okay with if you want to put that, I'm okay with that. If you want to just be a bubble, that's fine with me. I'm pretty sure Abdo, Ghost Dog, and Captain are okay with it. River, are you okay with it? River?
Yeah. Like a lot of times other people will like want to join in, and like I'd love to talk to everyone, but it does really make sense to keep it to people who do YouTube and have like. It just makes it easier, basically. Yeah, it's like an easy rule to keep, you know? I
don't even know what happened to Xander. I'm assuming he was going to pop in sooner or later, but I guess...
probably had to work today.
Yeah, so maybe he's busy, but yeah, I mean, if I would definitely love to do like a Q&A session where like some of our subs ask us questions about how we felt about certain things, so...
Yeah, for sure. Bring up like other stuff, yeah.
Yeah, boss, I'm perfectly fine about that, but again, go ahead. It's been about 2 hours, 2 hours and 6 minutes of streaming.
We definitely hit the mark.
Yeah, that kind of flew by, to be honest. So
yeah, it did.
Let's go for Perez 2024, Mike Middleton 2028.
A quick question. I know that
he's not 35 yet, so you know he's got to be 35.
I know that Slayer's going live. I mean, not Slayer. I know that Abdo's going live today. Ghost Dog's going live on Wednesday. Captain Bay.
Couple hours, yeah.
I'm not going live Wednesday. I'll just be on with you doing.
Okay.
Captain Bay stream?
I don't know. Captain Bay. Monday he might stream. Other day he's like, nah, I'm good. I don't know.
I literally texted one of my buddies today who was trying to get me to download Halo to play with him, and I'm like, that's not gonna happen. But I did tell him I was like, mainly because I want to get back into streaming more because I don't do it enough.
I had somebody who was supposed to do Halo with me, and I'm so irritated because I wanted to go through the whole campaign every game.
That might be what he wants too. I don't know. But I still have Act 1, Act 8.1 and 8.2 to do 100%. So yeah, I got some stuff I need to stream, and of course
these weeks are dead, man.
I know that's what I'm saying. Like, right now that like the game is so dead, like
I feel bad. Like
to get back into it.
I'm about to release.
I'm glad I left this stuff so I actually have something to do in game actually.
Right, like I'm gonna be working on the short after the stream. It's gonna be a crystal 6-star basic crystal opening. No one's gonna care about it, but I'm gonna release it anyway because it makes me happy.
Right? 6-star openings are
it's like 6-star basic. Come on down, but you know there's nothing else to do in game. Nah, man, keep Abdo in the retirement home, bro. Who is Future Turtle? I don't know. Welcome, Future Turtle. Make yourself a home.
I'm a hardworking YouTuber, man, who who can't quite pay his rent. So like, I'm not in a retirement home. Shit, you know how much those places cost? God damn.
Are you about to go live, Abdo,
They're
right
not
now?
cheap.
They are far from cheap.
Yeah.
I'm actually, so my apartment building is like, one side is apartments, the back side is retirement homes. So I see like all sorts of, every once in a while there'll be like somebody who's like old and senile who gets into my building instead of theirs, and I'll be like direct them back across the courtyard and like help them out to get through the building. But I've always thought like I grew up playing Pinochle, which is a card game kind of like Bridge, and so I've thought for like a long time now I need to go over there and see if I can start up a Pinochle game with the old folks and stuff. Anyways, okay. Anyway,
Are you about?
let's get out of here. But
are you about to go live, Abdo?
no, I'm gonna go on my normal time, probably about 3.5 hours from now. I need to take a shower. I need to get some dinner. I need to do some other stuff. So
Me too. I gotta edit a short. So if you see a crystal opening for a 6-star basic, watch it because there's nothing else to watch in the game.
Please watch the short.
Watch the short.
It's a short.
It's only gonna be a minute long.
I'll
So
just mute it and open it in a tab. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I've been seeing your shorts too, Abdo. Like I like your shorts. They ain't better as mine, but I mean they're good, entertaining. You know, if I'm so but
I need to get. I was telling Cap he puts stuff up above in the editing of it, and I like that because I haven't done that yet. So
I can. If you want to know how to do, I can tell you. It's not that difficult. I use photo.
Yeah, well,
I use Premiere Pro though.
I use DaVinci, but I was telling like Lags one time how easy DaVinci makes it to make a YouTube short, and he's like, "Oh, can you tell me how to do that?" And like, I should probably make a short showing you how to make a short. Like, oh, you like shorts, dog? We can put shorts on your shorts, you know. So
Nice.
I still mean to do that at some point, but yeah.
Lefty, did you buy a Terminator skin? Not yet, but I'm going to get it though. I will be getting. They actually did a good job with that skin. But I'm about to head on
Fortnite?
out. Yeah, Fortnite. It's a Terminator skin from the I think Terminator 4, the one with the I don't remember. I don't remember.
Christian Bale?
No, it's no, it's not that one.
Wait,
It's
Not
the
Salvation.
it's the one after that one. With
Was that
James
the Emilia Clarke one too?
with James Cameron came back. I think.
Ugh, man, there's
I
too
don't- I
many
don't-
damn sequels.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I don't know that. I don't know. I can't keep up. But I'm headed on out. Thank you again to Abdo, Ghost Dog, and Captain Bay. We're gonna be back next Sunday. Maybe we'll do a tier list on sequels or something. I don't know. We'll figure out something to talk about. But maybe we can also watch Oppenheimer. Really need to see that. I heard great things about
You
it.
need to get that Ghost Dog. Do you think you can watch that this week?
No.
No, damn,
Dang. Okay.
'Cause
Well.
I might be able to get to see it this week, but I want to get it sooner rather than later. We could talk about that.
I mean, if you guys decide you want to talk about it this Sunday, I'm perfectly fine. There's about a 95% chance I'm not going to get to the theater to see it. I'm perfectly fine talking about it and listening.
Okay.
They build
Okay.
a bomb, guys.
God damn, dude!
You ruined the
That's the one
spoiler
thing I didn't want to have
alert.
spoiled. Oh man.
No. My only
The
question
whole
is,
world is
my
gonna be
only,
different
my
after that.
only question is, did it go off?
Don't, Captain Bay.
Where you'll have to wait and see.
You know the principle of Chekhov's gun. You don't place the gun down on the table if it doesn't eventually get used at some point. So I assume if they built a nuclear bomb, it's gonna go off at some time.
I can't reveal all the facts. I just had to get that one spoiler.
All right, well, next week we can discuss a little bit of Oppenheimer. I gotta make myself go see it. It's just 3 hours. It's just like, that's a lot of time. But
lot of
Wait,
time.
I thought you saw it.
I did. I was going to, but I didn't. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna see this right away. But
Wait, wasn't that the whole reason you streamed
That
an
was
hour
the reason why
earlier?
you went an hour earlier.
it was. But I just didn't get a. I didn't get a
That's what we did
chance.
last week.
Righty
I just didn't get
I
a.
swear.
I just didn't get a chance to see. I was like not
I'm outta here.
motivated. I was just not
For
motivated.
that
Stream's
day-
ridiculous.
For that reason, I am out.
Okay, I will see. I mean, we didn't even discuss it this week, so it didn't even matter. We didn't even discuss it. How do you get mad at
Yeah,
me?
because apparently the one guy who was out of town at a bachelor party and wedding is the only one that saw it this week.
That is
I
good
saw it
point.
while, I had the movie. The wedding wasn't until 5:30 on Saturday.
Oh
Me
my
and my
god.
buddy, who I got a hotel with, we woke up that morning. We're like, let's go
He
see
was doing
Oppenheimer.
recruiting for the alliance in the
we got so
meantime.
much-
I mean,
Yeah, I was working on putting together a
Ridiculous.
fantasy football league. Like, what did
That
you guys
too.
do this week? I just got
Yeah.
hammered and did shit. Got shit done.
Lefty being lefty. I will go see the movie. I'm going to go see it.
I
We're
will
gonna.
try to see it this week. I'll try to see it
Yeah,
this week.
I might go see it Thursday, and I'll even
And
make it
I will
short.
listen to their reaction, them watching it this week.
Just,
I will Ghost
just
Dog.
watch a-
You
just
should
watch a
go see.
breakdown of it.
You should see. They clone
I can
Tyrone.
probably watch
You
the
can
breakdown.
bring up interesting facts that we don't know about because you watched like a review of it or
Right.
something.
Yeah.
Well,
All
I
right,
heard
guys.
that blah, 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 blah.
All right, guys. I'm about to head on
Cillian
out of
Murphy
here.
Did, said he'd never smoked a cigarette on screen again after that. Yeah. All right. It does have apparently Florence Pugh
Florence Pugh?
nude twice.
Has
so,
Robin Downey Jr.
Really? I
in
didn't
it.
notice. I didn't see that
Yeah.
scene. So
That's what I hear. So.
All right, guys, we're about to head on out. Thanks again to Abdo, Ghost Dog, and Captain. We'll be back next week, and I will make sure to drop some videos on our discussion so you can see our thoughts on this episode 6 and Adam Eve. So be on the lookout. I'm gonna try to get those done this week because I'm not going to be editing any videos in MCOC. So I got plenty of time. ain't nothing to do in that game. I think it might be time to move on from that game. Maybe on my other channel, I might be playing a different game. Who knows?
Thanks, chat. Take it easy, guys.
Y'all take care. Have a great and wonderful day.